catcher Brian McCann's first. John Smoltz started and finished strong, en route to recording his first complete game win since April of 1999. On a beautiful Sunday for baseball in Atlanta, it's time for Braves baseball from Turner Field. The Braves and Oakland A's wrap up a big three-game series this afternoon here on TBS. Good afternoon, everybody, with Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Great to be back at the ballpark where the Braves won yesterday 5-3. It was the second game of the series, but a day of firsts for Atlanta. Andy Marte picked up his first big league hit. Brian McCann, his first major league home run, and Andrew Jones, his first multi-homer game in quite some time. And, Joe, that sets the stage for the wrap-up of the series. The Braves have a chance to do something they haven't done in quite some time, and they need to do it a little more frequently now.
Absolutely, Chip. And this ball club, during this 13-year run they've been on, one of the hallmarks of their success has been a game at a time, but maybe more importantly, a series at a time, because they focus on winning series, whether it's 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4. And you can see, at least since 2000, their record in series. This year, a losing record. And they've lost 4 straight series. But today, they've got a chance to win a series. And I think it goes back to some offense. John Smoltz told Andrew Jones, hey, we need you to step up. You've got to start carrying the ball club. He certainly did that yesterday. They need him to stay hot. They need Brian Jordan to get hot, too. But it won't be easy today, Chip. They're facing a former Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, B.Zito, the crafty left-hander, has gotten very little run support this year. He has 7 losses, and he might be on the trading block for Oakland. You know, they've broken up the big 3. Let's see if the Braves can break up B.Zito and win a series against the Oakland A's. Big ball game, beautiful weather. Glad you're with us here on TBS. That sets the stage for the series wrap-up. Let's send it now to our pal, Mark Fine.
All right, thanks very much, Chip. Welcome back to TBS Sports Control.
For a super painter with the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. One touch and you control a continuous flow of paint. The innovative Power Roller. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
You know what they say, Prince. Big boots, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Sorbitex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters foot and sneaker spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
2 down, 1 to go. Let's finish this guy off. Get out of here. Beer. That's beer. This is beer. Beer is falling from the sky. It's raining beer. It's beer. 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 Come outside, everybody. It's raining.
Maybe your light beer should taste more like
beer.
Great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Miller, good call.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
If you can't remember the last time you replaced the air filter in your car, then you need to get in the zone. AutoZone. You see, if you have a dirty air filter under your hood, then you're losing horsepower and killing your gas mileage. So do something about it today. Get to AutoZone right now and put a new air filter in your car. Get the horsepower back, get better gas mileage, and start saving money today.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Braves TBS Baseball. Brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By Wagner Power Painting Tools. Paint fast. Paint smart. By Odor Eaters. Odor Eaters absorb sweat and destroys odor on contact with new Sorbitex technology. And by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call.
Hey, we've had a little sunshine break out here at Turner Field. Some blue sky dotted with some clouds. Hopefully the rain will stay away today on a warm and very muggy day in Atlanta. Let's take a look at the Napa starting lineup for the Oakland A's today. Leading it off will be Jason Kendall doing the catching. Mark Kotsay's in center. Bobby Kielty's in right. Eric Chavez will do the cleanup hitting. Eric Burns gets his first start in 5 games. Mark Ellis is at second base. Nick Swisher, Marco Scutaro, and B.Zito round out the order. For Atlanta, they've just taken the field here in their Sunday red jerseys. In the outfield, Langerhans, Andrew, and Jordan left to right. Third to first. Today it's Marte for Call, Giles, and Julio Franco with a lefty pitching. Brian Pena will do the catching. He's been the catcher for Horacio Ramirez his last 3 or 4 starts. And Horacio's on the mound for his 12th start of the year. He's 4-4, won his last outing against the Angels, maybe his best effort of the year. You see his line there at the bottom of his numbers. Only 2 runs allowed in 8 innings, his longest outing of the year as well. Umpires for today's game: Andy Fletcher behind the plate, Bob Davidson at first, Paul Schreiber at second, Mike Riley's the crew chief. He'll umpire at third. It's 80 degrees here at game time with 75% humidity and a little bit of breeze blowing out today, Chip, which is a little something new, at least this spring, because it seems like we've had the wind in our face and cold and dreary temperatures for about a month.
Yeah, but it's nice to see, as you said, that blue sky overhead. It's been a real dreary week here in Atlanta and all throughout the southeast as that tropical storm makes its way through the Caribbean, through the Florida Panhandle, and through the southeastern part of our country. Hope the folks who've suffered through the rainy weather are doing okay today. And hopefully the Braves can win a very important game today. You mentioned it in our open, Joe. The Braves have not won a series in the last 4 played. And if they want to move closer to the Washington Nationals in the East, they got to start winning series. That means winning today.
Exactly.
So Jason Kendall set to go for the Oakland A's. The Braves are in Espanol today. You can listen to the Braves in Spanish via the SAP button on your remote. Today's announcers are Pete Manzano and Fernando Palacios. Horacio Ramirez misses high to Jason Kendall, the de facto leadoff man for Oakland, who's having a real rough start to his American League portion of his career. 435 at-bats for Kendall between home runs. Ironically enough, the last one he hit came here in Atlanta.
Off Paul Bird.
That one drops in for a strike. 2-1 from Horacio Ramirez. Joe mentioned his last start against the Angels. He went 8 innings, gave up just 5 hits and 2 runs against a Los Angeles team that's gotten Vladimir Guerrero back. Good thing we missed him in that 3-game series. So Horacio's record 4-4. And Kendall has issued a leadoff walk. He's led off in 2 of the 3 games, and he's led off with a walk in both of them.
They've drawn a leadoff walk in all 3 of these games. But Horacio, part of his success his last couple of starts has been his ability to get the hitters to swing at pitches early in the count. He hasn't been nibbling that much and getting ahead in the count.
That'll bring up Mark Kotsay. Kotsay really struggling for Oakland on the trip. Hit and run is on, and the Braves won't be able to turn the double play. And Kotsay grounds out. Kendall to second with 1 out. Oakland trying to shake up its offense. You know all about the Moneyball philosophies, et cetera, et cetera. They come in 10th in the American League in offense, lowest home run total in baseball, 28th in baseball in runs scored, and ironically 9th in the American League in on-base percentage.
And I applaud Ken Maka for, trying something different. First pitch, they get a guy on base. They're trying to hit and run just to get something going.
Here's Bobby Kielty, a former Minnesota Twin, and he hits a line drive center field. Andrew is going to catch that. 2 outs for Eric Chavez. Chavez over at third base, hitless yesterday, 0 for 3 with a walk. Had a mammoth 2-run homer in the 7th inning of game 1 of the series. That shot proved to be the game-winning blast as Oakland won the opener 6-4.
I like watching him play. How about you?
Same here. Left-handed slugger with power. What's been surprising about Chavez this year, not hitting very well. His power numbers are down, but defensively, he's won 4 straight Gold Gloves over at third base. He's already guilty of 10 errors this season. That's not like him. Quickly, Ramirez has him behind 0-2.
Doesn't hit lefties as well as right-handers for his career, but this year he's struggling so much with his average that they're about the same, only about 8 points difference, 232 to 240.
Well, he and Bobby Crosby, their shortstop, signed a long-term contract, so the left side of the Oakland infield's taken care of. And that ball shot down the left field line for a hit. Here comes Kendall around third. He's going to score without a play. Chavez serves a double down the left field line with a 2-strike count. That's his 34th RBI, and Oakland jumps in front.
All set up by the hit-and-run play on the first pitch to Mark Kotsay, which got a runner into scoring position, because I would doubt seriously if Kendall could have scored all the way from first on this base hit. Good piece of hitting, though, by Chavez to go the other way.
So Oakland's in front for Eric Burns, the left fielder. He's hit 5 homers and knocked in 19. And A little low, says Andrew Fletcher. 1-0 the count. Burns, an 8th round pick out of UCLA by this Oakland franchise. That back in the 1998 amateur draft. And he hits a towering fly ball to shallow left. Ryan Langerhans is under it. No glasses. And a two-handed catch to retire the side. Leadoff walk comes back to roost. Oakland strikes first and leads 1-0 early.
Our plan this summer is to have fun, inside and out.
Get your summer off on the right foot. At the Home Depot, you can. With 10% off all carpet and vinyl purchases of $2.99 or more when installed through the Home Depot. That's 10% off installation, too. Plus, right now, get no payments, no interest for 12 months on purchases throughout the store with your Home Depot or Expo Consumer credit card.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Were you in a major accident? Are you a lemon? You smell like a lemon.
Don't buy a used car without a Carfax history report. Now with the buyback guarantee. For details, ask your dealer or go to Carfax.com.
Want to beat athlete's foot? Let's try a little one-on-one. Lamisil AT versus Lotrimin AF. Use this, you have to use it for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. With Lamisil AT, 1 week and you're done. That's 4 times faster. Lamisil AT, advanced treatment.
You know what's insane? You can control the black-eyed peas with the push of a button.
F-R-E-S-H-B fresh, D-E-F, that's right, we definite, black eyed peas, we reppin' it.
The music, the stuff, it all comes together right here. Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Go, Bernie, go! No, they got me! Get out! Get me out! I got it! Don't look at it!
A wash and wax used to be a workout, but with the new Armor All Gel system, you can wash without a bucket and wax while you dry every time. The Armor All Gel system, the simple way to get a wax with every wash.
Let's take a look at Bobby Cox's lineup as the Braves trail by 1, coming to bat for the first time today. For call, Giles and Franco here in the first inning. Andrew moves into the cleanup spot, followed by Marte, Jordan, and Pena. Langerhans bats 8th against the lefty, and Horacio Ramirez the pitcher. The defense for the A's: Burns, Kotsay, and Kielty in the outfield. Chavez, Scutaro, Ellis, and Swisher 3rd to 1st. Jason Kendall does the catching for veteran B.Zito, 27 years old, 6'4", 215, out of San Diego, makes his hometown Van Nuys, California. Is in his 5th year, but boy, is he really struggling, as those numbers would indicate, but also not getting any run support.
And Rafael Furcal greets him first and takes an inside corner strike. While Zito has been in the game pitching, Oakland has scored 29 runs in 13 starts. He's 2-7. And way upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe, I know you've seen Zito pitch a lot. I was talking with Ray Fosse, one of the Oakland broadcasters. He's added another weapon to his arsenal.
Is that right?
Slider. Rick Peterson, the former Oakland pitching coach, didn't want Zito to throw that because they thought it would affect that big overhand curveball. But he's mixing in a true slider every now and then.
He's got a big hook and a good one. You see great numbers for his career.
On that thing, come on.
3 balls and a strike to Rafael Furcal. Rafael 0 for 7 so far in the series.
He's the Cy Young Award winner in 2002 and 23-5 with a 2.75 ERA. Since then, it's been a battle for him.
And a good start for Atlanta. Furcal draws a leadoff walk. Well, I wonder how many times he started the game in that fashion for Atlanta. On-base percentage for Rafael at 276. That's his 20th base on balls this year.
Not enough, if you have some people. More walks, the better for Rafael.
And this is a combination you figure you might try to run against. Zito really takes a long time to unload. Kendall, I don't think he'd be able to throw me out. Kendall 4 for 51 in catching opposing base stealers, and they've stolen 21 in a row against him, which is shocking. Never remember him struggling that badly with Pittsburgh.
I've never seen you run between first and second, but my money's on Kendall.
Thanks. You know, it's always good to know you're behind me, win or tie. 1 ball's and a strike and a throw to first. Pete and I were talking on radio yesterday. Kendall's got to feel like, wait a minute, I come from Pittsburgh, and I think I'm going to catch the big 3. They trade 2 of them away, and Mark Redmond goes to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
No movement from first, and Giles down quickly, 0-2.
There's a difference in philosophy here if you want to look at it. I mean, Ken Maka was trying to start something and create something in the first inning to give Zito a run to work with. It paid off. They get a run to take the lead in the first, but the Braves are not that aggressive here in the first inning. Could be that Furcall's trying to get a good read on Zito too before he tries to steal.
Kendall with a long look into the Oakland dugout. Now Zito brings an 0-2, and there's that high curveball. That's a tough pitch for the hitter, and I think the umpire too. You don't see many guys in baseball these days throwing that big hook.
And it causes your eyes to go up, Chip. You look up at that pitch coming out of his hand, and you give up on it. And if they give up on it today, you'll record a lot of strikeouts.
1-2 pitch, big lead, draws another throw.
Just the 5th time all year, thanks to Brian Moyer. He looked it up, only the 5th time all year that Furcall's led off a game with a walk. And he's only missed 1 start.
So hopefully a sign of more things to come from Rafael. Again, he will be chased back to first. Furcall this year, 21 of 25 in stolen bases. He's been upstairs with everything. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that's a recipe for problems.
And he throws pretty hard. He's around 90, but he can't live up there. Not if he's letter high anyway.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Oakland by a run.
Gee, Christmas.
He's all over the place. Full count, 3-2. Roll the dice. Do you run now?
Only if Giles knows he's going. Only if you put on a straight steal so that Marcus knows he's going, so he can play it like a hit and run, so that anything borderline, you're still trying to put the ball in play and protect the runner. Because he's not going to get a great jump. He doesn't want to get picked off.
He's got a real good lead over there at first. Swisher holds him there. The 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. Swing, and it's dropped by Kendall. Furcall in safely at second. Giles is retired, but the runner advances, so all not lost for Atlanta. Julio Franco will hit with 1 out.
Well, it was a good pitch. Tied Marcus up inside, but in the haste to get rid of the baseball, Kendall drops it. That was a slider, I think, Chip. Good pitch.
Furcall, though, steals his 22nd bag, and Julio Franco will have a chance to tie the game here. Julio at 228, a couple of home runs, 8 driven in. He's faced Zito before and has a hit against him. 1 ball, no strikes. Kind of funny. You can hear Bobby Cox, that great audio work from Jim Bootke downstairs, saying, "Way to go, kid." Not sure who he's talking to. I hope it's not Julio.
Yeah, it might be Andy Fletcher, the umpire.
They play Franco way around toward right. He wears out that right center field gap most of the time. And he's ahead 2-0.
Rafael, by the way, stole 29 bases all of last season. And since his rookie year, when he was the rookie of the year and he stole 40, he's been in the 20s in stolen bases. This year he's on a pace to zoom past that 40 stolen base mark.
2 balls, no strikes. Missed the inside corner, ball 3, with a red-hot Andrew Jones waiting next. Like the way the Braves are making Zito work here in the early innings. Tim Hudson, remember on this homestand, had to leave a game because of cramps. Zito's pitched his whole career on the West Coast, and this is maybe the hottest, muggiest day that we've had on the homestand. Zito, normally a workhorse, might be able to wear him down in the early innings a bit.
Ready, come on, front.
3 balls and a strike.
His last start came at Washington, and he pitched a great ball game, but in 1 inning gave up a single and a home run to Nick Johnson, and lost 2-1.
Yeah, some of the Braves starters have had games like that, especially in April. And another walk. Franco's aboard. 2 on, 1 away. Zito's walked 34 men this year.
One of the things for Julio has been his ability to draw walks, see how a pitcher's working when he goes to the plate when he pinch hits. Hopefully Andrew absorbs some of that too, watching Zito struggle with the strike zone.
No struggles yesterday,
No.
Joe. He was right on everything.
And Bobby was talking about it. Bobby Cox saying he was inside the baseball. That means he was keeping his hands inside the ball and letting the barrel of the bat do the work, not trying to go out around pitches to try to pull it. And they were jumping off the barrel of his bat yesterday.
I really enjoyed what you said in our open about the conversation John Smoltz had with Andrew Jones before and after yesterday's game. First the pitch, which is popped up. In foul ground, Chavez really fighting the sun. Can't find it, and almost hit him in the head. There's a big break.
Huge break. But again, it was the first pitch, Chip. I mean, we were just talking about these guys working the count a little bit, and Zito was struggling, and Andrew went up there and went after the first one. High fastball. And now you can watch Chavez in his fight, and he almost got nailed. Might have hit him on the foot.
And he did everything right. Had the glasses down, used the glove to shield his eyes from the sun. A good break for the Braves. 1 ball, 1 strike. But the Smoltz and Andrews story is, I think, worth repeating.
Well, John said he went to him and told him, he said, you know, with Chipper out, you're the guy. You've got to step up and carry a lot of the load. And he said a lot of times, John was talking to me about this, saying a lot of times we have such high expectations of Andrew, and sometimes they're unfair, that we expect so much from him because he is so talented. But he said right now with Chipper gone, he's got to be the guy that we kind of play around. He's got to be the one that does the job.
Yeah, a chance for him to shine now. For Andrew, 2-1 count. That's bounced off Jason Kendall, 2-2.
Change up.
He's got all 4 of the pitches. There's no question about Zito. The only question really is, how long is he going to be in Oakland A?
I'm sure teams will find him very attractive before the All-Star break. The A's do have an option on him for next year, but a good deal. They'd probably listen to it.
Swing and a rocket down the left field line. Plenty of distance, but into the Oakland pen.
There was another case in point of keeping his hands inside the baseball. Pitch was up and in, but you could see him pull his hands in to get the barrel of the bat on it. He wasn't trying to go with a big extended swing that would have jammed him or missed the ball.
There's that big curveball. Just outguessed him. What a weapon that is for Zito. Second strikeout of the inning, and 2 are down.
You just can't give up on it. Look at the height of that pitch, and it just rolls and continues to tumble down into the strike zone. And when you see a pitch come out of a pitcher's hand from that high out of his hand, your immediate reaction is, well, there's no way it's going to come down. That's going to be a high pitch.
But boy, what tight rotation he's got to snap that thing off. Here's Marte. Andy had his first hit yesterday. For Atlanta, he's 1 for 11 in the big leagues. And looks inside. Zito behind virtually every hitter in this inning.
Julio. You're live.
Sped up his delivery on that changeup. He's kind of accelerating to try to sell it a little bit to the hitter to make it look like he's in a hurry to throw a fastball, and it's making the changeup that much better.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Come on.
Runners go. Breaking ball, and no throw from Kendall. Again, I think the home plate umpire gave up on that pitch. It looked like it was right down the middle.
I did too.
So a double steal for Call and Franco steal a bag.
Must have been a little high. And the fact that Marte was ducking a little bit because of the guys running. He didn't want to get hit in the head with a throw, but take a look. Oh, that didn't look high, did it?
So a hit could score a couple of runs with Franco a gigantic lead out at second. The 2-1 nearly hit him. 3 balls and a strike. You'd figure Zito would really like to get Marte here rather than face Brian Jordan, who's seen him before, and Jordan's the man waiting next. Swing and a high fly ball to left. That'll chase Burns back shy of the track. And Zito escapes the first inning. Braves get a couple of walks but strike out a couple of times, and after one, Oakland leads it by a run.
This chair doesn't look frightening. It's just oak, glue, and nails. But if you ever find yourself in it, it can be the scariest place on the planet. It's
Time for the know-how question of the game built by the Home Depot. If you've got a question for us today, send us an email, and if chosen, we'll answer it later in the game. Send that email to tbsmailbag@atlantabraves.com, and please tell us your name and where you're from.
It's 1-0 Oakland as the pride of Rapid City, South Dakota strides into the batter's box. Second baseman Mark Ellis will lead things off. Ellis with a home run, 9 driven in. And did you know, Joe, that Ellis has hit the 3rd highest career home run total of players born in South Dakota in baseball history?
I think I know who number 1 is. He had the all-time record for a season for a long time, didn't he?
Dave Collins? Is that who you're thinking of?
No.
Dave Collins.
Dave Collins is number 1?
Born in. Born in South Dakota.
I was thinking of Roger Maris. Where's he from?
I think he was North Dakota, wasn't he?
Fargo? Okay.
One of those Dakotas.
My Dakotas ran together.
3 balls and a strike to Ellis.
Now, Dave Collins was referred to as the Rapid City Rocket. Well, he was such a fast runner.
Right. Well, Ellis also from Rapid City, and he'll rapidly make his way to first. Second walk for Ramirez in today's game, and second leadoff walk in today's game in as many innings.
Yeah, and it's just, that's not a good recipe either, Chip. That leadoff walk in the first came back to haunt him. Braves weren't able to capitalize on their leadoff walk, but you don't want to keep doing that.
Nick Swisher, the first baseman, and sometimes right fielder for Oakland, is the hitter now. 3 homers, 18 driven in for Swisher. Let's see if they run with Ellis. He broke back to the bag. No balls and a strike to Swisher.
I like this guy. I've never gotten to watch him play until this series. I mean, I see some highlights, you know, on SportsCenter and stuff. I know he plays all out when he's in the outfield, diving for balls and crashing into the wall. But he's very aggressive at the plate. A little different stance, right-handed from left, too.
Closed stance, a little crouch.
Left-handed, he was very open.
Most of their left-handed hitters seem to hit that way. I wonder if that's an organizational philosophy for Oakland.
Could be. Dave Hudgens is their hitting coach. Might be something he teaches. But you'd think it'd be on both sides of the plate.
I would imagine as a player, as tough as it is to keep your swing on time, batting right-handed or left-handed, to keep them both on time from both sides of the plate at the same time takes a lot of extra work, I would think. Little low, evens the count.
It's a great weapon and a great asset to be able to switch it, but like you said, it's extra work too.
Swisher a long look down at Ron Washington, the Oakland third base coach. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Brian Pena, nice stop. 2-1 the count. Florida and Texas tied at 1. That game in the second inning. Mets over the Angels 1-0 in the first. Seattle and the Nationals just getting underway at RFK Stadium. High pop fly to right. Long run for Brian Jordan. And in foul ground, he'll make the grab. Long throw back to first, and Ellis just did get back. Here's Marco Scutaro. Scutaro starting because Bobby Crosby's hurt. Remember, Crosby's had some rib problems, was on the disabled list with some rib fractures. Now he's got a quadriceps problem that's cost him 10 days or so.
Yeah, I saw him come up limping a little bit on that double he hit here Friday night that he slashed down the right field line. He had a big night, a home run and a double, but hasn't played since.
See if Oakland puts the runner in play with Scutaro up. He hits a shot down the left field line, but that's going to be foul. Well, both offenses wearing out that Oakland bullpen.
We've seen Scutaro when he was with the New York Mets. He's got him on waivers in October of 2003.
No balls, 1 strike. And snap throw, and Ellis just got back. He was dancing around all over the place over there, and Ramirez just quickly flipped it to first.
Almost caught him napping.
Blowing away, ball 1.
Did you give me the third person from South Dakota on the home run list?
Dave Collins first, Carroll Hardy second, Ellis and Terry Francona.
Huh. Carroll Hardy.
One ball, 1 strike. Good pitch.
That's his #1 changeup right there. It's very effective, but it is more effective when he's ahead in the count and get him to chase one off the plate a little bit.
Looks like he'll throw another one here. 1-2 count. Ball 2, 2-2 to Marco Scutaro. Braves enter play today in the National League East. Tied for third with the Marlins, 3.5 games behind the Nationals, who are streaking. They've won 9 consecutive games. The Phillies just a game and a half back. Broken bat, flare, shallow left. Long run, Langerhans. And Ryan dives and grabs it. Good play.
That's a great play. It's also a bit of a painful play. Hard on your neck. We've seen Ryan make 2 or 3 of these already this year. A big swing and your first move might be back. Watch his head snap down when he hits the turf. Good play.
Well, you know, he's a gladiator out there, Joe. He'll make that play 9 times out of 10.
You know he is.
And here's B.Zito. Zito this year 1 for 5 at the plate. But don't be fooled by that 200 batting average. Lifetime 1 for 24 with 13 strikeouts.
Well, he went up there hacking today.
Makes a little contact, and Ramirez with a quick flip to first takes care of Oakland. He survives another leadoff walk, and after an inning and a half trails 1-0.
Oakland as we go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Now time for Fix It, brought to you by Vezicare. Brian Jordan leading it off, and he's part of our Vezicare Fix It today. Of course, he's for the last 2 years played with some injuries that shortened his playing time with the Dodgers and Texas, and this year trying to bounce back. His average just at .231. But we were talking earlier, Chip, about Andrew Jones needing to help lead the charge these days, and Brian does too. When Brian gets hot, he's one of those guys whose enthusiasm and exuberance rubs off on everybody else. You know, fist pumping and hustling and playing all over the place, sliding and everything. If they can get him going and get hot, it would be a huge boost to the offense. So maybe he can help fix that by getting started today.
And he's faced Zito before. He's 2 for 6 against him with a home run. One of those would tie our game at 1.
Good night, Brian.
And Bobby Cox says, good eye, Brian. It was off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. I'm sure you played with guys like Brian Jordan. Great teammate?
Great teammates, and you know that it's in there, and you just keep waiting for it to pop out. You know, that hot streak. You know, Andrew had his hot streak, or had one, on that long 2-week road trip. Nobody could get him out till we got to Boston, and then he kind of went into another slide. But he almost single-handedly carried the team on that road trip. And you pull for those guys. You know, you want them to get hot because you know how valuable they could be to the team. You just hope it happens soon, especially now with Chipper out for an extended time. Speaking of being out, we had another roster move today, too. Have we talked about that?
Not yet.
Ramon Colon was sent back to the minor leagues. He'll report to Double-A, where the Braves want him to start for a few games.
Jordan Jams skies that in the right center field. Bobby Kielty will make the play.
And Bobby Cox said that they want Colon to get some innings under his belt and start at Double-A, and then they're going to move him to Richmond and want him to close there. They think, and Bobby's term was, he has a very high ceiling and work on a split finger pitch to go with his fastball, and that ultimately they think he's going to be a fine closer at the big league level. In his place, they've called up another rookie, Blaine Boyer, another Atlanta product out in Marietta at Walton High School, and he's here with the team today.
Brian Pena looks slow. 1 ball, no strikes. So you have 3 Metro Atlanta kids on this 25-man roster right now. There's Blaine Boyer, McCann, and Kyle Davies. So this truly is the Atlanta Braves. In 2005.
Won't be long before Jeff Francoeur's up here. He'll add to that list. Blaine Boyer was in the rotation, and in Bobby's words, he wasn't pitching that well as a starter, but when they moved him to the bullpen, he really started coming on, and he'd rather pitch out of the bullpen.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Pena missed a breaking ball. That's 3 strikeouts for Zito, who's nursing a 1-run lead. Begs a question, though, when we head down to Texas, with all the injuries, who's going to start on Tuesday for Atlanta?
And apparently that's going to be Jorge Sosa, who, as we know, has been in the bullpen all season long. It looks like he's going to get the call on Tuesday in Texas. You see right there against Pedro Estacio. Here are the other matchups. Tim Hudson against Chris Young tomorrow. Sosa and Estacio Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Davies against Chan Ho Park. And that, as you see, that game time has been changed to accommodate ESPN. I believe that's been moved to a 6:05 Central Time start, 7:05 Eastern Time.
Correct. Then it's off to Cincinnati for a 4-game series at the Great American Ballpark before the Braves come back home. Base is clear for Ryan Langerhans, who's hit lefties very well this year at a 400 clip. And if you're a left-hand hitting youngster in the major leagues and you can prove you can hit left-handed pitching, you will play up here a long time. And Langerhans down on strike. Zito's got 4 punch-outs, and he's got all 4 of his pitches working in a 1-run game.
Know what they say, Prince? Big boot, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters foot and sneaker spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
Today, you're a super painter with the amazing Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Fast and neat. It lets you paint up to 12 inches wide in one pass. The Power Painter. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Radio. Every team, all season long. And now, for a limited time, buy an XM satellite radio and get a second radio free. XM makes the perfect Father's Day gift. XM satellite radio.
It's like a miracle. I cannot believe it, People, they don't even recognize me.
Propylene, scientifically proven to reduce weight. So powerful it works by itself. Backed by 11 independent clinical studies.
You don't change your life. All you do is take a pill. And the fat just comes off.
It definitely works by itself. Because I know I didn't do anything different, and I took it and I lost weight.
Try it. Eat the same way. Do what you're doing. and this pill will work. Every morning when I look at myself in the mirror, I see another person there.
Call now to try propylene risk-free for 30 days for only $29.95. If you don't see amazing weight loss results, send it back and we'll refund your $29.95. But wait, it gets better. Call now and we'll include a second bottle absolutely free. Call in the next 10 minutes and your shipping and handling is also free. That's right. Call now and your second bottle and shipping is free. That's an additional $40 value. Yours free when you call right now.
Tonight on TBS.
Hey, what you doing hanging from the ceiling like that? Don't walk. You ain't gonna be telling me what to do every time. I'm Kelly Robinson, baby. You're 7 and old. Don't talk to me like that.
I Spy. Tonight at 8 on TBS.
Jason Kendall to work for Oakland as he leads off their third inning. He's the only man to touch the plate. A leadoff walk in the first came around after an Oakland hit and run and a Chavez double with 2 strikes. Washington's jumped in front of Seattle early, 2-0. Boy, are they smoking hot.
They didn't talk the talk. They're walking the walk. They said it was a big homestand for them when Atlanta went in there, that they needed to handle business against the Braves and the Marlins particularly. They've smoked everybody.
Full count now to Kendall, 3-2.
And improve their ball club, in my opinion, by getting Junior Spivey, if he can stay healthy, to fill that gap at second base with the injury to Jose Vidro.
Payoff pitch, and Kendall another leadoff walk. That's 3 in the game for Ramirez. 1-0. Oakland is in front. Let's send it quickly to Mark Fine.
All right, Chip, quickly to Cincinnati. Baltimore is there, and so is Sammy Sosa. Bit of controversy for him this week with that Sports Illustrated article, but hasn't affected his swing. That's .581 on his career, now 2 behind McGuire.
Thank you, Mark. We'll head to Cincinnati later in the week where the baseball should be a jumping. The Reds starting pitching this year has been abysmal, and that ballpark makes it tough on any staff. A letter high strike to Kotsay, 0-1.
Well, you're going to 2 good hitting ballparks if you're the Braves. You're going to Texas, you're going to Cincinnati.
Slap to left. Langerhans will be tested again. Again, Oakland had the hit and run on it. Kendall has to scamper back to first.
I wonder if this has to do with the lefty pitching and Kotsay, a left-handed hitter. He's just trying to open up some holes. Talking about Maka, the manager, that would allow him to find a place to put the ball and doesn't have to hit it hard. I like it.
Earlier this year, Billy Beane, because Oakland was so beat up and not scoring any runs, called him into his office and said, look, it's okay if you even want to sacrifice bunt just to get guys in scoring position. Line, caught, throw to first off the glove of Franco. They had Kendall doubled up, but the throw a little off target.
This ball was hit hard, but Spud Webb, Marcus Giles really went up the ladder and got it. His throw was a little off the mark, and I'm not sure, but Julio might have been screened by the runner here just a little bit. Got his footwork crossed up. They had him, though.
The Spud, I'll believe, but I think it's more McKenzie than Webb. So runner at first with 2 outs. But back to Oakland, they said Billy Beane even told Ken Maka, it's okay if you sacrifice bunt just to get guys in scoring position. That's the antithesis of the Moneyball philosophy. Don't give up outs. And wait for somebody to hit a home run. They don't have a team that can do that consistently right now. Although this man Chavez is a guy that's very dangerous. And I wouldn't give him anything to hit.
Is Durazo out for the year?
He's got an elbow problem. There's a lot of concern about whether he's going to come back.
That hurts.
2 balls and a strike.
Oh, look out. Mickey Morabito, the traveling secretary, almost got hit right in the coconut.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Chavez has a 2-2 count. Runner goes, and a line drive up the middle. Base hit. Kendall will make it to third. So Oakland running all over the place, trying to jumpstart their attack. And again, Chavez with 2 strikes has his second hit.
That was not a hit and run. That was a straight steal with 2 out. But scouting reports on Brian Pena, if the A's got that on the series with the Angels, saw Pena having a hard time throwing to second base, and maybe that's what they're trying to take advantage of too, is that you can run on him.
And that'll bring out Leo Mazzoni for a chat. Julio Franco will join in as well. They'll bring Marcus Giles in from second to talk things over too. Braves had a chance to double them off. I'm sorry, Joe, with Kielty and Kendall. And that throw off target allowed Chavez to hit.
Yeah, that was a big play, not being able to convert the double play. I was looking back at that game I was thinking of, which the Angels beat the Braves 8-4 the night after. That was a couple of nights after Estrada got hurt, so Pena was forced into action, but the Angels stole 5 bases that night, in which Brian was behind the plate.
And word is Johnny has been cleared to play probably tomorrow. When we get down to Texas,
it's good news.
He wanted to play yesterday, but Braves want to make sure he's 100%. There's a very B.Zito-like breaking ball from Ramirez. At least as far as the end result's concerned, nothing in 1 to Burns. 20 home run man for Oakland last year. Popped him up left side. Who's going to catch this? Marte and for call. Rafael finds his place near the stands. Tumbles in. Did he hang on? He did. Fine play to retire Oakland's Eric Burns here in the top of our 3rd inning.
Ooh, that is nice. That is nice. Ooh, that is nice.
So you better take Daddy over to Best Buy.
Dad to the ballpark and join Major League Baseball and the Prostate Cancer Foundation in raising awareness for prostate cancer research. Log on to MLB.com and look for the blue ribbon for more information on how you can help. Father's Day, June 19th. And an early happy Father's Day, Chip.
Thanks, Joe. You too. Here's Horacio Ramirez trailing by a run. B.Zito with 4 strikeouts. Ramirez, good year at the plate, hitting over 300 for the Braves.
He had a good swing at that fastball. Now he can sit on the hook. Most pitchers figure other pitchers can't hit the curveball. Here it comes.
No. Made contact, but it's off target, 0-2.
Might have been a slider. I don't think it was a curveball. It wasn't a very good one.
Zito with 42 pitches in the game. Throws the most pitches of any hurler in the American League. Ground ball to short. Scutaro will glove it, and he'll make the throw to first. 1 man down, and again we join our pal Mark Fine.
All right, thank you very much, Chip. Let's check out those red-hot Nationals. You know, they pick up Junior Spivey to shore up their infield, and that'll shore it up. 2-run homer. Washington leads Seattle 2-0. Top of the 3rd.
Didn't take long, did it?
Nope. And everybody says the scouting report for RFK Stadium is once the summer months come and it gets hot, a ballpark that's really tough to hit the ball out of will become, like old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, a real launching pad. And Spivey parks that one, and they lead by 2. Here it's 1-0 Oakland with Furcal up. Rafael walked and stole 2 bases in the 1st inning. Now pushes a bunt toward first, and he's going to beat it out. Swisher had some indecision. And a bunt single for Furcal is the first Atlanta hit in the game. He's on base twice in as many trips.
All you've got to do is bunt it hard that way and then beat the pitcher to the bag. That's the whole point of pushing the ball to first base, or if you're left-handed, dragging it to first. That was in a good spot, and as you will see here, the only chance they had was to maybe toss it to Ellis covering, and he wasn't near the bag.
So let's see if Rakal is going to do some running here. Giles, the hitter, with 1 on, 1 out. Marcus struck out his first time up. And a quick strike. Why don't more players bunt?
Especially leadoff hitters who don't have a very high on-base percentage. I don't know the answer to that, unless they just don't have enough confidence in it, don't want to give up an at-bat. But as fast as Rafael is, for example, he ought to be working on that equally as hard as his swing.
I mean, you have so many players who, I guess now that the game is changing for myriad reasons, getting away from the emphasis on power. The speed game, I think, is going to start coming back into Major League Baseball. I would think that defensively, a lot of teams have gotten away from knowing how to handle plays like the one we just saw. And in fairness to Swisher, he's been playing the outfield this entire series.
What a coincidence, too, isn't it, that we've gotten away from the power with the crackdown on steroids? What a coincidence.
1-1 pitch. Line into center field, and that's in for a hit. So 2 straight singles for the Braves with 1 out, and it'll bring up Julio Franco. What's also interesting about it is the number of pitchers we're seeing that don't have quite the same zip on the fastball. It's not just the hitters who are, I think, suffering, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Didn't seem to want to give Julio much to hit his first at bat. Wound up walking him, but fell behind 3-0 on a lot of pitches that weren't even really close to home plate. See if Julio gets something better to hit here with runners aboard.
He walked and was on the trail end of a double steal back in that first inning. Zito's had a lot of base runners. Let's see if the Braves can bring a couple of them home here. Strike 1. Was Zito a guy you'd be comfortable facing as a major league hitter?
I think so. I mean, because you know he's not going to blow you away with his fastball. You respect it, but he gives you, seems to me, gives you something to hit almost every at bat. The exception would be a couple of strikeouts he recorded against Pena and Langerhans, where he made some very nasty pitches to them back in the second inning. But otherwise, you know it's going to be the big slow curve. You know it's going to be a fastball around 89 to 90.
Breaking ball has Franco out in front. 2 balls and a strike.
Curious thing about his numbers this year, he's 2-7. We talked about that. A 4.4 ERA, 0-5 on the road, and yet the batting average against him is the 6th lowest in the American League, just a 238 average against him.
Well, you have 1 inning where you give up 2 runs and you lose 2-1.
Yeah.
Which was his fate last time out against the Washington Nationals.
Let's see some of the scores in his other losses.
He had 1 game where they gave him 11. And he won that ball game.
Yeah, 11-2 against Tampa Bay.
Two balls, 1 strike. Franco line drive center field. Kotsay's got a very good arm for a call around third. The throw not cut off. It's a tie game. 3 straight hits. Franco at first, Giles at second.
And the last 2 hits have been good at-bats by right-handed hitters. Giles fought off a pitch, trying to make sure that he didn't try to give up on any breaking ball. And, of course, we know how much Julio likes to go up the middle into right field. He got a pitch that he could drive back through the box for the RBI. But it looks like the right-handers have a plan. They're willing to give up that fastball inside to make sure that they stay on the breaking stuff.
9th run batted in this season for Julio Franco. And Andrew Jones took a called third strike, maybe the best curveball that Zito threw in the game.
He's lost 4-1, 3-1. He got beat 6-0, 6-1. Got crunched early in the year 11-2 by Tampa Bay and shut out his opener against Baltimore. Again, very little run support.
Ground ball hit slowly towards second. Oakland will try to turn it. Ellis throws it into left field. Giles will score. Franco will chug into third, and the Braves lead on a gift. It's 2-1. They had a great shot at 2. They get none and trail now.
Any charity is greatly appreciated by Atlanta right now when they are at the plate. This was tailor-made and just a poor throw by Ellis. And maybe just the fact that Scutaro hasn't played that much shortstop with Ellis, maybe that threw off their timing a little bit because Marco looked like he was a little late getting there.
Just the second error for Ellis this year. No RBI on a fielder's choice. Braves are in front. 4 straight men have reached. And here's Andy Marte with Atlanta leading 2-1. That's got to frustrate your pitcher. You battle, you have a little meeting. You give up 3 straight hits, then talk it over. You get the ground ball you need, thinking you're going to be out of it tied. Instead, you're in a situation where a fly ball puts you down 2, perhaps.
Hey, come on, kid.
It's part of it, though. Part of the game and part of pitching around trouble. Marte's gotten 2 fastballs inside, and he, too, looks like he's not really interested in trying to offer it those pitches, looking more middle of the plate away and trying to sit on that breaking stuff or a fastball away.
A's play him to pull with a 1-1 pitch. Zito. Low, ball 2. All this started with a bunt from Furcal with 1 out. Boy, did that thing have some late break to it. 2-2.
Had a good cut at it, though. Opened up a little fast on it, but he had a good swing in it. Didn't seem to be fooled.
Franco and Andrew are at third and first. 2-2 pitch. Bounce that ball off the plate, fought off the curve.
These Braves that have come up, these kids, Marte included, he's 1 for 11, yes, but he's only struck out 2 times. Kelly Johnson, 1 for 29. He's only fanned 3 times. They're putting the ball in play for the most part. He's looking for some holes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up right side. Swisher near the Braves dugout, won't have a play. And baseball's a game of averages. As poorly as things have gone by the numbers for the kids, you've got to figure that if the baseball gods are going to play fair, they'll have a stretch where maybe they go 15 for 27.
Especially if they keep this approach Andy's got working. He just fought off that pitch that was borderline inside, but couldn't afford to take it.
Another 2-2. Looked at that ball inside. Boy, the plate discipline very good today. Full count. Will Andrew be running from first here?
Another one of those, it's going to be a late start if he does.
3 stolen bases, not going. And Marte loses the bat and is down on strikes. Hope everybody's all right. That one found its way around the screen, and that young fan, I think, dodged out of harm's way just in the nick of time.
Straight changeup that time got him, and the bat hit the edge of the screen and then wrapped around into the lap of a couple of young men. Appears that they're going to be all right.
So they're at first and third after Zito's 5th strikeout of the game for Brian Jordan, who flied out his first time up. Zito really jammed him with a inside corner pitch. Off the plate, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
got to make the right-handers aware that he will pitch him inside, and we've seen a steady diet of that to the right-handers, but he's got to do that to make his changeup and that slow curve effective. They're just hanging out over the plate. He's got no place to go.
A's play Jordan straight away. It's a real estate left center field if he can plug a gap there. And if Zito keeps pitching him inside, he might have a chance. My guess is he's going to pitch around Jordan here and take his chances with Pena. He's down 2-1. Braves have taken the lead here in the third. 3 straight singles. And a throwing error from Mark Ellis. Brian thought he earned ball 4.
He doesn't really, knowing Zito is a competitor and a guy with pretty good control, he doesn't really have to give in to Brian here. He's got Pena on deck, and Brian Pena's been scuffling. If Brian will chase a bad pitch, he'd be happy with that, but otherwise I don't think he minded walking him there.
3 of those in the game. And that'll load the bags for Pena, who struck out swinging that in the middle of the second inning for the Braves. And out comes Curt Young, the Oakland pitching coach.
Pena is 0 for his last 12 after getting off to a good start. 3 for 20 overall, and he has struck out 5 times. So a few more strikeouts for him than the other guys.
Interesting inning for that young infield for Oakland. Little hesitation by Swisher on the bunt play by Furcal. And then the double play that wasn't turns into a run, and a whole lot more pitches for Zito, up to 66 of them now. We're only in the third inning.
Well, let's see if the breather he got from talking to Curt Young helps him.
Pena with an RBI on the year, and Zito wants to step off.
Runner at second. Maybe he forgot about that, and they had to go through the signs again.
No balls and a strike. Pulled toward third. Chavez, though, will win the race to the bag. Braves get a couple of runs, 3 hits, a very costly Oakland defensive lapse. And to the fourth we go with the Braves in front 2-1.
Your baby is so small that a mother's wedding ring fits around its wrist. So it made sense to design a monitor specifically around the needs of those critical first days.
You see an old train track. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a railroad whose unused land helped it become a successful real estate developer. Uncovering hidden value to build strong returns for our fund shareholders requires a unique perspective. One that's made us a leader in value investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Consider investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses carefully. For this and other information, get a prospectus from your advisor. Read it carefully before investing.
When the day came to unveil the Napa truck, me and my father were pretty excited.
Just a little thanks to you guys at Napa for doing such a great job on your parts and tools. Pull the cover, Paulie. Wow, it's all chrome. Every inch of it.
In hindsight, unveiling the truck inside might have been a better idea.
Hey, Angie. Going to the post office?
Post office?
Angie, post office, 3 seconds.
No matter how many packages you need to send, you don't have to go to the post office. Just log on to USPS.com. Pay postage, get insurance, print labels, and we'll pick them up for free.
I'm at the post office.
Just one more way the U.S. Postal Service is working for you.
Fans, here's tonight's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Thank you. Connie Mack managed the A's from 1901 to 1950. He won 9 American League pennants and 5 World Championships. What was his real name? And no, it wasn't Connie Mack. We'll have the answer for you in the bottom half of the inning.
Connie Mack, a Hall of Famer. They called him the Tall Tactician. Young fans might remember seeing pictures of a gentleman dressed in a coat and tie and holding the lineup card. That was Connie Mack. When the A's organization was in Philadelphia, managed in a couple of other spots before taking over the managerial reins and then the ownership of the A's franchise. As a manager, won 3,776 games.
Don't think that'll ever be touched. When you own the team and you can be your own manager, that
says a lot for job security.
Yes,
ground ball to short. That'll take care of Ellis. One man down. If you look closely at the Oakland uniforms on the left shoulder, you'll see the white elephant. It's green on the gray uniforms, but back in the old days, John McGraw had a great rivalry with Connie Mack and said that the A's were a franchise of players that no one wanted. They were white elephants. So Connie Mack adopted the elephant logo or mascot for the A's franchise, and it's carried over from Philadelphia to Kansas City and now to Oakland, where the A's now play.
Do you know where the mule came in? Charlie Finley's mule?
I'm assuming that was when they were in Kansas City. He owned them there, didn't he?
Yes.
Before he moved them west?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That mule made his way on the field a lot.
Maybe because he was stubborn as a mule?
Could be. It's kind of like Marge Schott's dog. A lot of cleanup going on.
Yeah, Charlie Finley had a lot of, some would say, crazy ideas. He wanted to have the orange baseballs and have a mechanical machine bring the baseballs out to the umpire to save time in between innings. But he was a guy that was way ahead of his time when it came to the eventual labor problems that would take place in baseball. He said, hey, you want to really solve things? Make all the players free agents after every season.
Every year.
That was one of Marvin Miller's great fears, that owners would do that. Swisher earns another walk. That's 4 of them from Horacio today.
He's picking too much. He's got the lead. He was really trying to be too fine earlier in the ball game, but especially now with the lead, no reason to do that.
So Marco Scutaro hits with 1 on, 1 out. A's are down a run. 2-1 your score. It's the corner, strike 1.
Scutaro actually started his career in the Cleveland organization, was involved in that big deal that sent Richie Sexson from Cleveland to Milwaukee before going to the Mets.
Yeah, we'll have a chance to talk with John Hart, who's the general manager down in Texas. I'd like to pick his brain about what, if any, similarities there have been between what he accomplished in Cleveland and what he's trying to do in Texas. Marte smothers, gets 1 at second. Giles hangs in there, takes the punishment from Swisher, and the little bobble cost the Braves a chance at the double play. Good play, however, to force the leading runner. And again, we join Mark Fine.
Well, speaking of punishment, Sammy Sosa's back to punishing baseballs. His second of the day, 68th career multi-homer game. That ties him for second all-time with Mr. Bonds. This game is now tied at 4, top of the 4th.
Sammy Sosa, before it's all said and done, is going to have a big year in Baltimore, folks. As B.Zito, the hitter, And a swinging bunt, foul at the plate, 0-1.
I'm happy for Baltimore. I mean, all the talk for the last so many years has been nothing but Yankees and Red Sox in the American League East, and all the other teams have tried to pick up the pieces, and Baltimore has done a good job of that. They've put together a good ball club. They've added some free agents like Tejada, made the deal for Sosa, picked up Javi Lopez, of course, but they're doing a great job in playing excellent baseball, and tip the cap to Jim Beattie and Mike Flanagan, who are running that ball club from a personnel side.
Zito makes contact, rolls to short, Giles to the bag, and Ramirez leaves the 4th inning with the lead. It's 2-1 Atlanta here at Turner Field.
Today, more pros are getting more done with Rigid. Revolutionary tools designed to slash downtime. And now, behold the new line of Rigid pneumatics with super lightweight housing, selectable trigger modes, and tool-free depth of drive adjustment. May your old tools rest in peace. Rigid, back for a lifetime. Get them at the Home Depot.
Go, Bernie, go!
A wash and wax used to be a workout, but with the new Armor All Gel system, you can wash without a bucket and wax while you dry every time. The Armor All Gel system, the simple way to get a wax with every wash.
Your smile says a lot about you. That you're happy, friendly, confident. But if you're uncomfortable with your teeth, your smile could be saying just the opposite. Fortunately, there's Invisalign, the clear way to get a smile that shows off the real you. Invisalign uses a series of custom-designed aligners to straighten your teeth little by little. Each invisible aligner can be removed to eat or brush your teeth. Switch them every other week, and gradually a new smile will emerge, often in about a year, without the pain and anxiety of metal braces. Hundreds of thousands of people have already discovered Invisalign. Maybe it's time you did too. Visit Invisalign.com to arrange a free, no-obligation consultation with an experienced Invisalign provider. And let the world see the real you. Invisalign. Learn how to smile again.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
2-1's our score. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ryan Langerhans, Ramirez, and Furcal coming up. Not much hitting. The left-handers have been wildly effective. A lot of walks, but not a lot of runs. And Ryan looks at a strike. 0-1 your count. What's your impression of this Moneyball business?
Not a big advocate. There's certain aspects of it that I think are traditional. I mean, are kind of givens within baseball already. There's nothing new in that. Is get on base and get runners around and score them. I don't know if I'm really educated enough on all their philosophies, but that aspect of it I think is kind of old standby anyway. I'm not. I know a lot of people who subscribe to it are people who look at computers and go by numbers to evaluate talent and trends and what's this player doing. Is he on the upswing? Is he on the downswing? By just looking at numbers and crunching them. I think you got to go see the player. I think the eyes of scouts and the eyes of baseball people, experienced people, are what it's all about. Find out what's in a guy's heart, see how hard he's playing, those types of things.
Like everything else, moderation in everything.
Yeah, I'm just not that, don't turn it into a fantasy league thing. That's not what professional baseball is about. Fantasy league baseball is a fun game, but that's not the way you evaluate talent.
Leadoff walk, 4 from Zito. And that sets up a sacrifice chance for Ramirez, who has yet to lay down a bunt this year because he's been such a good hitter. Yeah, I don't mind trying as an organization to impress upon your young players the importance of getting on base, making solid contact, and not striking out. That makes sense. But for Oakland, a team that wants to get guys on base, that's all fine and good. But if no one can drive them in, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good, is it?
No, it's not.
That's the problem they've had. They don't have much power. They don't have many people who can drive in the base runners they get on. Consequently, Oakland enters the game today in last in the American League's Western Division. And there really are a couple of ways to look at it. You can run it like a fantasy camp or the computers and track what players have done in the past to build your team, or you can go with what scouts do, and that's project a player 5, 6, 7 years down the road.
Exactly.
It's two different philosophies, completely and totally different. Popped up behind the plate, no play for Kendall.
I was handed a book today by Bill Shanks, who wrote a book that I'm anxious to read on the road trip called Scout's Honor, and it's about the brave. It's called The Bravest Way to Build a Winning Team, and it talks about how the Atlanta streak has been put together with the way that they do things, and looking forward to reading it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Ramirez. Again, he'll try to bunt. And Zito, with his 78th pitch in today's game, misses high. Ball 2, 2-2, your count. Time asked for by Jason Kendall.
Jim Lefevre was a hitting coach, a minor league hitting coach in the Dodger organization. It's the first place I met Jim, and I loved him as a hitting coach. He later became a manager in the big leagues, but one of his big things was on base percentage.
Bunted on a line back to the mound, and diving back safely is Ryan Langerhans. So Horacio cannot help himself. Not the kind of a bat he was looking for. 1 out.
Got to get it done. He didn't. Let's check out our Aflac trivia question to see if anybody got the answer. Connie Mack managed for darn near 50 years. What was his real name? Cornelius Alexander McGillicuddy, shortened to Connie Mack for all the people who knew and loved him.
And two more great things about Connie Mack. He was one of the men who helped found the American League. Several other leagues were in competition with the National League before the turn of the century, the last century that is. And when the AL began play in 1901, the Philadelphia organization was a charter franchise. Broken bat ground ball toward third. 2nd 1. High throw to first, but in time. That's a double play, and it ends the Atlanta 4th inning. More on Connie Mack and the A's. They're coming up in the top of the 5th.
You know what's insane? You can control the Black Eyed Peas with the push of a button.
F-R-E-S-H, fresh. D-E-F, that's right, we definite. Definite, Black Eyed Peas, we reppin' it.
The music, the stuff, it all...
And you're done. That's 4 times faster. Lamitil AP, advanced treatment.
Joe, you're glad we got the Durango, right?
Of course.
And you liked all the money we saved when we bought it, right?
Got us a bigger boat.
Oh, and how about the Hemi engine and the DVD player and the hands-free cell? Then why won't you use the navigation system?
I'm not lost. Dodge Durango. This is starting to look familiar. It's a lot of great stuff for a great price.
Now get some of our best deals and low payments on the sport utility you really want, Durango. Plus $1,000 trade-in bonus cash allowance.
Braves TDS Baseball, brought to you by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. And by the ready-to-roll project-size pen container only from Dutch Boy. Another neat idea.
We're back in Atlanta, top of the 5th inning, and the top of the Oakland order is up. It's been a struggle for Horacio today. He's walked 4 men, couldn't get down a bunt. He does lead 2-1. Let's see if he can find a way to retire Kendall. 2 walks for Jason today with a run scored.
There've been some other games like this for Horacio where he was pitching well enough to hang on to a lead, but walking a tightrope, and that tightrope would snap on him about the 6th or 7th inning and cost him the lead and a win.
Kendall serves that ball down the right field line, and he's going to think about extra bases, and he's going to make second without a play. A leadoff double for Jason Kendall, his 10th extra base hit of the season.
Which is not many extra base hits, because he doesn't have any triples or home runs to go with it. Just a good piece of hitting by the leadoff hitter here, because that was not a good hitter's pitch. He just spoiled a pitch from Ramirez.
Now Kotsay's job, get Kendall to third at the very least. He's grounded out and line to left. And he will do his job. Giles will concede the base. 1 out.
Horacio did him a favor, tried to come in on him and jam him, and he did jam him, but fought it off enough to hit it on the ground to get him over.
So Kielty a chance to tie the game. He's lined to center and hit a bullet to second. Kielty, 28 years of age, was acquired from the Blue Jays for Ted Lilly at the end of the 2003 season.
Blue Jays had gotten him for Shannon Stewart in a deal with Minnesota.
Kielty started college at USC, went to Riverside Junior College, and finished up at Mississippi.
It's kind of like Zito. Zito had a tour of colleges too. He started at UC Santa Barbara, then went to a junior college and finished up 1 year at USC. Signed out of USC as a junior with Oakland.
Well, they wanted to get used to all the road trips. Here they are in the big leagues. Again, Horacio in trouble. 3 balls and a strike with Chavez on deck.
This team is loaded with California players. 6 of the 9 guys in the lineup today are from California, either born there or live there now.
Maybe they'll go back to the days that used to take place in the NBA. You'd have a territorial draft. Braves have 3 Atlanta kids on their roster. Problem is, that'd be a big advantage for the Devil Rays, the Marlins, and all the California teams.
Sure would.
Back to the screen. Full count for Kielty.
Don't give in to him. Don't give him anything to hit. Pretty good pitch. Got it in on him. Don't want to pitch to Chavez, but if you make a pitch, even if it's a little off the plate, maybe you can get Kielty to get himself out. Pitch to Chavez with 2 out.
Hard hit ball through for a hit. We're tied at 2.
He's a good-looking hitter. Had some pretty good numbers in his years with Minnesota. And a switch hitter, batting right-handed today, and he's hitting .382 right-handed and smokes this one past Marte.
So now you do have to face Chavez with the game tied. Chavez 2 out of 2 today. And Ramirez balks. Did Bob Davison spot it?
Looked like the home plate umpire got him. Andy Fletcher.
And he got it on a foul tip, too. As Chavez down a quick strike. So the go-ahead run for Oakland in scoring position here in the 5th inning. One ball, one strike. Yankees are in St. Louis today. Matt Morris for the Cardinals off arm surgery is 7-0 to start the year. The Yankees are 6 games out of first place. Texas leads Florida 3-2 in the 5th. Washington still shutting out Seattle 2-0. Mets over the Angels 3-1. Phillies in a 1-1 game with the Brewers. Is that Ben Sheets pitching for Milwaukee today? It is.
Phillies are hot too. They've had a good homestand. 11-1.
Two balls, two strikes. The count to Chavez. Fly ball left center field. Well hit. Langerhans back at the track, and it bounces over for a home run. It hits the top of the wall and ricochets into the seats. A 2-run shot for Chavez, and that man's having himself quite a series.
Did you think that ball was going out of here?
Not when it left the bat.
I didn't either. It didn't sound all that good, but this guy's really got some pop in his bat to all fields. Fastball out away from him. I thought he got it off the end of the bat a little bit. Bounces it off the top of the fence and into the stands. And now, just like that, Ramirez without the lead.
You mentioned earlier the wind blowing out today. Might have helped as Chavez hits his 5th home run in the last 11 games for Oakland. Remember, they came in with the fewest number of home runs of any major league team. And now 2 balls and a strike to Eric Burns. Oakland leads it 4-2. A's have not won a series on the road since the opening series against Baltimore. Broken bat back to the mound. And Burns will be disposed of, as will the lumber. 2 outs. Braves haven't won a series in the last 4 played. And Zito almost faint with a 4-run offensive support total.
That's a lot of runs for him from a normal standpoint, so he's got some extra room now and has the lead back.
He's got a Tim Hudson-like mark, too, when he gets 4 runs in a game. You remember that incredible stat for Hudson? Something like 78-4. Zito 60-4 when he gets 4 or more. And the Braves bullpen gets busy in a hurry. Kevin Grabowski is the man up.
Braves will be a man short in the bullpen since they're going to have to use Sosa on Tuesday. And at that point on Tuesday, they will most likely send one of the catchers out, as Estrada is expected to be ready to go again by that time. And they can bring up another relief pitcher. Ryan McCann, your picture, off to a great start in his first 2 games.
Pete had a funny line yesterday. We're going to take our first charter flight with all the youngsters. Wonder if our friends at Delta will have all the little plastic wings to hand to them as they get off the plane. Roller to short, retires the side. 3 runs in the 5th for Oakland. They take the lead. It's 4-2 Athletics.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
2 down, 1 to go. Let's finish this guy off. Get out of here. Beer. That... Beer. This is beer. Beer is falling from the sky. It's raining beer. And beer. 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 Come outside, everybody. It's raining.
Maybe your light beer should taste more like
Beer.
great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Miller, good call. Turn off the Ambilight function on your Philips flat TV, and it's like going back in time. The only flat TV with Ambilight from Philips. You'll never go back to ordinary TV.
So you're not gonna talk? Then we're gonna talk.
Not my minutes, man.
Happy birthday, Nana. Dry cleaning, is that deductible?
Thank you for holding.
He cowers.
Hang it up!
In a land far, far away.
Hello? Department of Motor Vehicles.
Never enough minutes on your wireless plan? Come to T-Mobile and get the most whenever minutes.
More minutes. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now get the most whenever minutes guaranteed. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
Wednesday. They knew about the competition. They knew about the challenges. But nobody told them about the mole.
Oh my God. That mole is freaking me out.
The Real Gilligan's Island. All new Wednesday at 9/8 Central. Only on TBS.
Well, the Braves have some work to do now. A 3-run top of the 5th for Oakland puts the A's in front by a 4-2 score. And here in the last half of the inning, Giles, Franco, and Andrew are coming up against B.Zito. And Giles with a big cut bounces that foul and out of play. Joe, is Zito a guy that you can try to make a living against going the other way with his pitches?
Yeah, I think he could. I mean, I think that's what the right-handers have tried to do today. We mentioned that earlier, just as Marcus is doing here, to no avail. But I think if you're trying to spin on your back foot, try to pull him with that change-up and that good curveball, you're asking for trouble. You've got to be willing to kind of give up the middle part of the plate, and then if he makes a mistake in the middle to inside part of the plate with a fastball, then hope that you can turn on it. But yeah, I think you can.
Julio Franco took him right back up the middle back in the 6th inning. An RBI single for Julio, who's been on base twice today. Four runs, 5 hits for the A's. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Braves. Oakland's committed the game's only error. That's the error that scored the Braves' 2nd run.
His changeup is different than, say, a Tom Glavine changeup. Tommy's changeup is his arm angle is different. It's a little more, Glavine's is a little more 3/4 than, say, Zito's, and his changeup goes down and away to right-handers. Zito looks like he throws his changeup right to the back point of home plate. Comes right over the top with it, and I think from a hitter's standpoint, especially right-handers, that makes it a little tougher to detect that it is a changeup because it's coming out of that same arm angle as his fastball.
2 balls and a strike. Wind's starting to pick up here, and it's starting to cloud up. Did Julio check his swing? Mike Davidson says, and correctly so, he did. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, he's got the lead back now. He's got a 2-run lead. I wouldn't expect him to try to nitpick around with Julio and put the 3rd man in the order on base with a freebie. Make him put it in play.
He walks him, though. 5 walks for Zito. Mark Fine, what's up?
Well, let's show you what's up, Chip. New York Mets Pedro Martinez, the guy, well, he can't only pitch, but he can hit as well. How about his first RBI since 1996? Doug Mankiewicz sliding in. 3-1 Mets.
Every team in this East above 500, and New York trying to go to 33-30 with a win today. Here's Andrew. He has struck out, bounced into a fielder's choice, and hits a towering fly ball to left with the wind helping. Burns at the wall. It's
up right away, Chip. I think he thought that was a pop-up. He might have been a little frustrated by it, but we're talking about how Zito is trying to keep the right-handers honest inside, but he doesn't have enough on his fastball to do it, and this was a high fastball. Andrew just missed one of those early in the game, and a little frustration, maybe thinking he'd hit a skyrocket. And you are right. Look at it rain now.
Well, that's got to frustrate Zito. He was 2 outs away from getting this thing official. Instead, he gives up a walk and a titanic 2-run homer for Andrew Jones, his 3rd 2-run homer in the last game and a half, and we have new life at 4-4. Boy, look at Old Glory high atop the high-definition scoreboard. It is starched and blowing straight out.
Moved in rather quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think the heavy stuff is going to come down for quite some time now.
Thank you.
3 balls and a strike. Is this still the remnants of that tropical storm? Wow. Way high. And you have to wonder how long this will continue as Kendall will get a new baseball for Barry Zito. A walk for Marte. That's 6 bases on balls issued from Zito. And Mike Riley is going to say enough's enough. He's going to bring out the tarp here.
Better hurry. We'll put the clock on Ed Mangan and the crew. They're the best in the business at getting this done.
So a heavy downpour here in Atlanta. The game not yet official. It's a 4-4 score. And Andrew Jones perhaps heeding the advice of John Smoltz. Joe talked about it before the start of our game today. With Chipper Jones out, with so many kids on this roster, I think sometimes we forget Andrew Jones still a kid himself, even though he's been around a while. He's got to be the guy that carries this team offensively, and he's done it with 6 RBIs. It's the 3rd time this year he's hit a homer in consecutive games.
Look at Bobby talking to him too about staying inside the baseball, which is what he talked to us about before the ball game, and the way Andrew hit those homers yesterday. And it was not a strike. It looked like it was out of the strike zone up. Boy, he stayed on it. Kept his shoulder on the ball and had enough on it, even though it was hit a mile high, to get it about 5 or 6 rows deep. Watch that front shoulder right here. Stay on it. And even though he kind of had an uppercut at a high pitch, he's so strong, it still went out of here.
So Zito surrenders the lead.
1 minute and 26 seconds. Not bad, fellas.
Well, they did a great job, and you can tell how hard it's raining. Look at the warning track behind home plate where the security personnel have donned the slickers. It's already very soggy behind home plate. So a very heavy downpour here in Atlanta. It's slowing down just a bit, but hot, muggy weather we told you about earlier today. It has come to fruition, and Andrew Jones hits his home run in just a nick of time. 4-4 is our score. Joe Simpson, Chip Carey at the ballpark. We are in a rain delay here at Turner Field. Let's send it now to our pal Mark Fine, who's standing by in our Atlanta studios.
All right, thanks very much, Chip. You gentlemen stay dry if you can. You know, we've been skirting that rain all weekend long. You had to figure sooner or later we were going to get a delay. Again, the Braves and A's now tied at 4 after a monster home run. Might have actually brought the rain from Andrew Jones, who's just swinging a super hot bat. Speaking of home runs, this weekend we saw something. Quick, though, let's get you caught up on some of the other action in Major League Baseball. You know, Texas and Florida started off as 2 of the hottest teams in all of baseball, but they've both been struggling lately. The Rangers in Florida today to take on the Marlins. Let's see how these 2 are doing. Jeff Conine at the plate, bottom of the 3rd. Just gets one through the infield. Damian Easley going to come in to score. That would make it 2-1 Florida. But Ricardo Rodriguez, the pitcher just called up from AAA, helping his own cause, slapping one to left here. That made it 3-2 Texas, now up 4-2 bottom of the 6th. Again, moments away from baseball. Braves and A's tied at 4 apiece. Let's get you back out to Chip Carey and Joe Simpson, who have the call. Gentlemen.
All right, Mark, thank you. And for you folks who might have missed some of the early action here in this ball game, and to show you how we got to a 4-4 tie, here's how things developed today. It started in the top of the first inning after a leadoff walk to Jason Kendall. He was at second base for a double by Eric Chavez, who drove in the first run of the game. In the third inning, the Braves put a couple runs on the board. An RBI single by Julio Franco tied the ball game, driving in for call. And then the Braves got some help from the A's on a throwing error here on a potential double play ball. That throw by Ellis gave the Braves the lead. And then a 3-run fifth for the A's, highlighted by Eric Chavez's second home run of this series. A 2-run shot, and then Andrew Jones followed with his 3rd home run of this series here in the bottom half of the 5th inning to tie the game. And with 1 out and 2 runs in, a runner at first, Brian Jordan is the batter, and we're still tied 4-4. B.Zito still out there for the A's, Chip.
Rain delay of about a half hour or so here in Atlanta, and Jordan is set to go. He's flat out, and he has walked. Much cooler at the ballpark. Wind has died down, and the blue sky is starting to take over here in metropolitan Atlanta, Georgia. Official time on the rain delay, 29 minutes. Let's see if Jordan can put the Braves in front here with a man on, 1 out. Oh, get out. Hit that off his back foot, and you hear him saying, get out. Get out of play is what he's saying, and it did. Very obedient baseball. No balls and a strike. One of the most frequent letters we get on the internet or from fans mailing us, what do players do during the rain delays? Cued out of play foul.
Get a bite to eat, get a little snack. Some of them play cards. With the advent of batting cages near the clubhouses these days in the new ballparks, some guys will take some couple of rounds of batting practice. Might change your jersey too, or your undershirt, dry off a little bit. But eating's right there at the top.
Eating and sleeping. Sounds like a broadcaster, or at least a future one. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Bryant. We head to Texas at the conclusion of today's play. Yanked foul past third. Watch you see Bryant keep his hands back on that swing.
Right-handers are fighting off anything inside, but they're thinking about middle away with B.Zito.
Tip of the cap to Ed Mangan and his ground crew. You can hardly tell it rained at all.
This field drains well. You got the tarp down in time to avoid any long-lasting damage.
Did he chase? Bob Davidson says no, he didn't.
Some activity in the Braves bullpen would lead you to think that Horacio Ramirez's day has come to an end. Adam Bernero and rookie Blaine Boyer have been throwing in the bullpen, but everything's calming down.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Jordan went fishing, came up empty. Odd day for B.Zito. 6 strikeouts, 6 walks.
Some activity, as you see, down in the A's bullpen as well. Justin Dusher, who got touched up yesterday for a couple of home runs, has been throwing.
And Brian Pena bats with a runner aboard, 2 outs. A walk, a homer, another walk, now a strikeout. Little pop to short. And Marco Scutaro should have no trouble. And that will retire the side. Way to go, Andrew. Hit the homer just in time to avoid the rain. And it's a 4-4 score.
Yes, and Dockers bring you this very funny moment.
Dad, we need to talk.
See Primetime's Very Funny Dads tomorrow night at 8 on TBS.
Satellite radio. Every team, all season long. And now, for a limited time, buy an XM satellite radio and get a second radio free. XM makes the perfect Father's Day gift. XM satellite radio.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call the number on your screen for a free DVD or video and check it out. Bowflex's Power Rod technology delivers results. Powerful arms, defined legs, a stronger chest, and a toned, sexy core. And owning a Bowflex home gym is so affordable. Great results are easy with a new Extreme. All it takes is one simple workout, 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, to get in the best shape of your life. The Extreme is built so well that we back it with an unrivaled 7-year warranty. And so effective, it comes with Bowflex's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Through this special offer, you can own one with no money down and just $19 per month. You can't get this Bowflex deal anywhere else. Call us for a free DVD or video, or visit us online and find out how to get your Bowflex for just $19 a month today.
USA Today is the place for a comprehensive look around the league. Get all the latest scores, stats, standings, and game recaps to keep you up to date with your favorite teams and players. So pick up your copy of USA Today every day.
We go to the 6th inning of play, all tied at 4. Let's take a look at the Armor All game summary. 4-4 ties. Zito, as Chip said, an odd line. 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. Ramirez's day is over. Did not record a strikeout. Gave up a home run to Chavez. Franco with a big hit. Andrew with a huge hit there to tie it in the 5th inning. A 29-minute rain delay precedes the Major League debut of Blaine Boyer, who just got called up today.
The pride of Walton High School here in metropolitan Atlanta, and his first Major League pitch, a strike to Nick Swisher.
Throws hard. Control sometimes an issue for him, but you can see 40 strikeouts. He did that in about 45 innings, I believe. 48 1/3 innings, to be exact.
1 ball, 1 strike to Nick Swisher, who was flied out and walked. And Boyer ahead of him, 1-2.
3rd round draft pick back in 2000, but he's also been in big league camp the last 2 years, getting a little action.
And we saw a lot of these kids in the final 2 weeks of spring training this year. And that one down the left field line, just foul. Swisher missed a double by the diameter of a baseball, it looked like.
There's that wide open stance. We talked about how different it was for him batting left-handed than right, and Mike Riley with a good call. Just missing.
Breaking ball hit to left field, and Swisher aboard with a leadoff single. So Boyer's the 7th Brave to make his Major League debut this year, and the 3rd from metropolitan Atlanta.
10th rookie overall to be on the ball club. It's incredible.
So he'll go to the stretch for the first time now and face Marco Scutaro. Let's see how Oakland plays it. Ground ball right side. Giles knocks it down. Makes a terrific play.
Scutaro thought he had himself a base hit trying to go through that hole, but a great effort by Marcus to prevent the base hit. Not only that, but get an out. And now the A's will go to their bench.
It's going to be Watson.
Uh-huh.
So Matt Watson pinch hits for B.Zito. Zito 6 walks, 6 strikeouts, 4 runs allowed in 5 innings.
Watson was the outfielder called up to take the place of Charles Thomas, the former Brave, who was sent back to Sacramento.
So Watson to pinch hit. Zito's day is done with 101 pitches. And the one to Andrew Jones, the one he wishes he had back. He had a 2-run lead and gave up the long home run to left. Watson hitting a .156 for the Athletics. Looks low at a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The old baseball adage, you can't tell the players without a scorecard, never more appropriate than when you play this year's edition of Oakland, and frankly for Atlanta too. .93-mile-an-hour fastball, and Watson was late. 1-1 your count.
He's got that short arm action, much like Kyle Davies. Ball gets in on you in a hurry.
Braves bullpen busy again. John Foster is up as a light rain begins to fall again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anthony's good sinker.
And that's what's supposed to make him a very valuable part of the bullpen, is good sinking action. He's supposed to get a lot of ground balls. So far 2 ground balls, 1 that went through for a hit.
And you look at Boyer's minor league numbers. Less than a strikeout an inning pitched, but 2-to-1 strikeouts to walks. And he takes care of Matt Watson. 2 outs. First major league strikeout.
That's his mom in the white shirt, Claudia, rooting on her son.
I'll say this, if nothing else, all these local Atlanta kids are sure going to help the ticket sales at the ballpark.
Absolutely. Packing them in here. The Cans are here at the ballpark again today, of course. Saw them before the game.
Here's Kendall. See if Braves can find a way to get this guy out. He's walked twice, doubled once, and scored 2 times. Look at the way Kendall hits. Really remarkable this day and age. No batting gloves, chokes up, hands clasping and unclasping the bat, wrists in constant motion. It's amazing he has time to make a good pass.
Very old-fashioned.
Out of play foul off the bat of Kendall.
Used to be that hitting coaches would teach you to do that a little bit, to wiggle your fingers on the bat to prevent any tension in your hands and forearms, so you could be a little quicker with your swing.
You would think the opposite would be true, because you'd have to re-grasp the bat and then swing. This guy's a good player. I've always enjoyed watching him work. One ball, 2 strikes. Blaine Boyer, the 10th Brave rookie on the roster, just called up and in his first major league game. And Pena knocks it down, but can't keep it close enough to hold Swisher at second. That'll be a wild pitch, and the count 2-2.
It's a slider, and short hop came up off the heel of Pena's glove and then off his chest protector, which is what caused it to scoot so far away.
As Dizzy Dean, one of our broadcasting idols, would say, that slider slud.
Yes, it did.
2-2 count. Just missed the corner. It's 3-2. There's that Braves philosophy, the down and away strike.
Fletcher's been pretty generous with that inside corner, but not so the outside corner. The home plate umpire.
Payoff pitch to Kendall. And he lost him. Kendall's had a good day. He's been on base 4 times now. So a hit, a single, a strikeout, a walk. Brings Kotsay to the plate. Pena out in front of the plate with the signs.
It's amazing that the score's not any higher than it is, given the 6 walks issued by Zito and now 5 walks issued by Atlanta pitching in 5+ innings.
Well, great on-base percentages, however. In today's game, the pitch ripped to right field. That's going to put Oakland in front. Kotsay finally snaps out of it. And he will end up at second base with a 2-out double. That will score Nick Swisher. And the A's lead it now by a 5-4 score.
Like a pitch that was up a little bit. Yeah, about belt high. And Kotsay with a quick bat shows it to you with a good turn on that ball. And he's got his 29th RBI of the year. And Blaine Boyer greeted rudely here.
And another lefty. It's Bobby Kielty. Actually, Kielty can switch hit, but with the right-hander on the mound now, he'll turn around and hit the other way. He drove home a run last time up. 1 ball, no strikes. Little flare, shallow left center field. Andrew dives. It comes up. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. That saved 2 runs. What a weekend for Andrew Jones. He's hit 3 home runs, and he just saved 2. It's Oakland by 1.
The competition is bigger.
I'll do anything to win. I'm gonna be the last man on this aisle. Marianne is toast.
The relationships are better.
You're boring. You're mean. You're not very good looking.
Professor!
And the castaways are more outrageous.
I exude peace. Oh, it's your daddy. I own you. You got to go. Don't mess with my project. I don't care. He needs a hug.
The Real Gilligan's Island. An all-new episode Wednesday at 9/8 Central on TBS.
Gee, I had a really good time tonight.
How would you call tonight's date, Clyde?
Well, Keith, looks like Mr. Graybeard is about to strike out. Ooh, bruise and refuse. Get that man our Jessamine brushing gel. It penetrates tough gray and puts it away.
5 easy minutes, hair looks natural.
It's a whole new ball game.
Here's the windup.
Ooh, the shot got played. Home run. Another win with Just for Men. The Rejuvenator.
Our plan this summer is to have fun, inside and out.
Get your summer off on the right foot. At the Home Depot, you can. With 10% off all carpet and vinyl purchases of $2.99 or more when installed through the Home Depot. That's 10% off installation, too. Plus, right now, get no payments, no interest for 12 months on purchases throughout the store with your Home Depot or Expo Consumer credit card.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Ooh, that is nice. That is nice. Ooh, that is nice.
So you better take Daddy over to Best Buy.
Braves TBS Baseball, brought to you by Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Targets only the gray for a natural look. And by the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Oakland has a 1-run lead, and after a 29-minute rain delay, Braves down 5-4, and Justin Dukeshire is on the mound. He was the man, as Joe said yesterday. Atlanta touched up and beat yesterday. He's been having a very, very good year for Oakland.
He had a string of shutout innings until the home run barrage.
Still in 22 games, a 2-1 record, a 180 earned run average, 29 strikeouts in 30 innings, and baseball hitting .227 against him. Off the plate, Ryan works an even count, 2-2. Texas leads in Florida 4-2 in the 8th. Washington 3-1 over Seattle. And a base hit right field. Boy, that thing had a rooster tail on it. Did you see the splash of water as it hit the grass? Leadoff hit for Langerhans. And Pete Orr will bat for Boyer.
Dukes, you're very upset with himself on this, too. Hanging breaking ball. And when you see moisture fly up in right field, that's because that's where the tarp gets dumped after a rain delay. They take the water off and take the tarp out to the outfield. That's where it gets emptied.
Here's Pete Orr. And snap throw back to first. Boyer covered just about every line you could cover in his major league debut. 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1 wild pitch. Let's see if maybe Atlanta can give him his first win. And Dukeshire steps off. Oakland desperately wants a win on the road. Earlier in this series, they snapped an 11-game road losing streak. They are, however, 1-5 so far on this trip through Washington and Atlanta.
Found out some interesting news from Cincinnati during the rain delay about Austin Kearns.
Down to the minor leagues.
Bit of a surprise.
Kearns had not been hitting. Was 3 for his last 36. His batting average all the way down to 224. They called up Kenny Kelly, former quarterback from Miami University, to take his roster spot. Orr tries to punt, rolls it foul, strike 1. Danny Graves, if you missed it, has finally signed his contract. He is a member of the New York Mets bullpen. As Oakland's bullpen busy.
Of course, is Kielty H. They've only got 1 Yabu on their team, so it's easy to know who that is. On the other hand, you go to a lot of teams, they got a lot of Yahoos on their teams, but not too many Yabus.
Yeah, they have the Major League Yabu. No balls and a strike to Pete Orr. You're killing me. Oakland by a run. And Orr takes high. Again, he shows bunt. 1-1 your count. That's not Kielty H.
No, that's Sadaharu Bernero. Good pitch to run on right here. That was always my strategy. Pitcher almost throws one away. He's reluctant to throw over there again.
So take off?
Take off.
Just as long as it's not a failed hit and run.
Yeah. All right. Go.
Not go. Bunt. And at his eyes, he missed it. Braves couldn't get out a bunt earlier with Horacio Ramirez back in the 4th inning. Now it's an even tougher assignment for Pete here.
Pete's a better bunter than this. He's had a little trouble with this last couple of times he's been asked to bunt. And on that last pitch, he didn't even get wood on the ball.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Baby.
Fought off tough pitch.
Worst part about that is that when you fail to get the bunt down your first 2 attempts and they let you swing away, you get real defensive. You don't want to strike out and make it that much worse. You want to put the ball in play, but you're not loose. You're trying real hard almost not to strike out. Unfortunately, that's what happens a lot.
7th Brave to be struck out of this game. And not the at-bat Pete was looking for. So Langerhans still at first. And Rafael Furcal the batter. He's walked, stolen 2 bases, bunted for a single and scored. And hit the ball hard, but into a 5-4-3 double play last time up. Right through there from Dukeshire. 0-1 the count.
He's got a base hit today. It was a bunt single back in the 3rd inning. His right shoulder still problematic for him. It hurts him more batting left-handed. Maybe pull one through the hole on the right side.
He tried to. But it's 0-2. Five to 4, Oakland leads it.
Roughie.
Win today would do a lot for Atlanta's psyche, just to make them feel better about themselves with all these young players on the team, to win a series and then go on the road and try to build on that.
And the Braves have really struggled away from home. And they will be facing 2 pitching staffs in Texas and Cincinnati that have had some problems. But I think you're right. We talked at the start of our telecast about the importance of just winning series. And at the time, fans may say, well, yeah, they only won 2 out of 3, okay? You win 2 out of every 3 games in a major league season, you end up winning 108 games. That's why managers will say game by game, series by series, then week by week, etc. 2-2 count. Runner goes. Tipped and caught by Kendall. The throw perfect. And that ends his long streak of 21 straight men stealing against him. A strike him out, throw him out, double play ends the Atlanta 6th inning. Oakland leads it now by a 5-4 score.
One of the great things about playing baseball is it's okay to get dirty, and your mom won't care.
Who wants to get dirty?
Boys and Girls Clubs is the official charity of Major League Baseball.
Now we're looking like ball players.
You know, pitchers like to get dirty too. These are awesome, man.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Hey, who got my uniform dirty?
Don't worry, the mom will wash it.
You take care of your body. So can your toothbrush. There is more and more evidence that oral health impacts overall health. So it makes sense to use the Sonic brush, used and recommended by more dental professionals. Sonicare, because your mouth is the gateway to your body.
When the day came to unveil the Napa truck, me and my father were pretty excited.
Just a little thanks to you guys at Napa for doing such a great job on your parts and tools. Pull the cover, boy.
Wow, it's all chrome.
Every inch of it.
In hindsight, unveiling the truck inside might have been a better idea.
Hi, I'm Grant Hill, 7-time All-Star. When I'm out on the basketball court, I'm focused on helping my team score points. When I'm home, I'm focused on my daughter and her safety. I know how important it is to set the right example for her. Parents, we need to show our kids how to be safe kids, like wearing a helmet when we ride our bikes or crossing at the crosswalk. Safety starts with you.
A message from the National Safe Kids campaign and founding sponsor, Johnson & Johnson.
If we do it, they will too.
From executive producer Steven Spielberg and DreamWorks Television, a 6-week television event, Into the West. 3 chances to watch every weekend. See it tonight at 8, only on TNT.
Well, there's the unhappy story to this point, but it's only a 1-run deficit. But the A's have Chavez, Burns, and Ellis coming up in the 7th, and Adam Bernero strides in from the Braves bullpen. And Chavez crushes that ball deep right field. Back goes Jordan, and he's gone as far as he can. Chavez, a 4-hit, 2-homer game today. And he is single-handedly providing the power Oakland's been looking for all year in this series.
4 hits, 4 RBIs, 3 homers in the series. It's kind of been the Chavez-Andrew Jones show in this series. Man, did he cork this one. I don't know how much the Braves have pitched him inside or tried to pitch him inside in this series, but anything out over the plate, he is just crushing.
So it's a 2-run hole now as Chavez has had himself a big series. 4 RBIs today. 6 for the series. And that one yanked foul off bat of Burns. 0-2. We said on Friday night that this was an Oakland team that you'd like to face and have a chance against them to get healthy. Ground ball to short for call. Tough play. Gloves, grabs, can't get it. Burns came flying out of the batter's box. He'll have an infield hit.
Today is June 12th, and for Chavez, it's already his 6th home run of the month. And he's had a big month so far, trying to bounce back from a slow start.
Remember Sammy Sosa in 1998 with the Cubs hit 20 home runs in a month.
Good grief.
So Chavez has a shot at that. Here's Ellis. 1 in, 1 on, nobody out. Adam Bernero's been rudely greeted by Oakland today. Nothing in 1. Braves at the moment are 32 and 29. One year ago today, the Braves were 30 and 31 in 3rd place, 3.5 games out of the division lead. They're 3 games over 500 right now, 3.5 games out of the division lead. And it all turned around for Atlanta in a very memorable game. Joe, I know you guys have talked about it a lot. June 27th at Baltimore, an 8-7 Braves win where they came from way back.
Yeah, late in the game. They were down like 7-1 in the 4th or 5th inning, and then put together a pretty good rally in the 7th and 8th innings to win that game, and then it was Katie bar the door.
And before that game, Braves record was 34 and 39. Braves ended the season 96 and 66. Braves finished the season 62 and 27.
That's going to the whip. That's looking like a Fleet Alex coming down the home stretch like he did yesterday to win the Belmont.
Or the drill on the Home Depot race around the bases thing today.
Yeah.
The drill one today, right?
I know. No, I had the drill. Mr. Moyer had the saw, won the race. I'd say cut the corner at 3rd.
And I'm sure Brian will be declaring that miscellaneous income on the 2 balls and a strike. Hard hit ball, fair past Marte. Ellis a hit. Around second streaks Burns. He'll get to 3rd without a throw. And Ellis with a stand-up double. So the Oakland A's pounding away here. 3 straight hits and still no one out.
Adam Bernero only gave up 1 homer in his first 22 appearances. He's given up 2 in his last 4, including the home run today to Chavez, but he's also getting hit hard by the likes of Mark Ellis too. Pulled that one down the line.
And Nick Swisher will hit now. No, he won't. They'll take the bat out of his hands and set up a double play chance. So a homer, a single, a double, now an intentional walk. And the bases are loaded for Oakland. That's another problem the Braves are going to try to solve here in the next couple of weeks. That bullpen has had some issues.
Starting pitching's been good, I think, Chip. I mean, there's been a couple of rough starts here and there, but by and large, when you consider Hampton and Thompson have both been on the disabled list now for a while, I think the starting pitching's been quite good.
I think early in the season, some of the problems, if you want to call them that, the bullpen pitched much better in April and May. The result of having 5 starters who were throwing the ball well. It was rust more so than ineffectiveness. Now it might be a situation where there's a little too much work and it's catching up to them as the Braves infield comes in and Granero misses with a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. That's really one of the most underappreciated facets of the game, is a manager's ability to work his pitching staff and use his relief pitchers in the right situation. As Scutaro rips a single into left, 2 runs are going to score. Langerhans hits the cutoff man, and Oakland tacks on a couple more. It's an 8-4 game. 5 straight A's have reached.
And the sad truth about all this is that Oakland came into this series next to last in the American League in hitting. They were last in Major League Baseball in home runs and extra base hits and slugging percentage, and yet they're the ones that have come to town with a chance to take 2 out of 3 now with a 4-run lead. It's like they're getting well against Atlanta.
And they've scored 17 runs now in this series, and they're not done yet. Here's Dan Johnson. Boy, this kid's got a chance to be a real good player for them, they think. He'll probably be their everyday first baseman next year when Scott Hatteberg moves along. Johnson had gigantic numbers at AAA. .324 average with 8 homers, 41 driven in, and a .424 on base percentage. That's driven to left where Langerhans in foul ground and has enough room. Tagging from second, heading to third is Swisher, and he'll dive in safely. On the tail end of the play, Scutaro also moves up. So Oakland very aggressive. Not a typical at bat for Johnson. He fouls out, but he does the job. He moves 2 men up.
And the difference was this ball carried a little bit farther than Ryan thought it was going to, and you could see him backpedal to make the catch, which took him out of any good throwing position and allowed Swisher to get in there, because these guys don't really have much to lose. They haven't been playing good baseball, but they're staying aggressive, and it's paying off for them, especially when they've got the lead.
They have 11 hits. They've been walked 6 times. They've struck out just once. Kendall the hitter, and he's down a strike. Kendall's walked 3 of those times and scored 2 runs.
It's never a good sign when the leadoff batter for the opposing team is in his 5th at bat and you're only in the 7th inning.
Ball 1, strike 1 to Jason Kendall. Yankees and Cardinals tied 1-1, top of the 5th inning at Busch Stadium. Again, Matt Morris on the hill for St. Louis, 7-0 this year. Roller foul past third.
Good play by Ronnie Washington, the third base coach for the A's. One of the very good guys in this game.
Reds beat Baltimore 10-6 today. Ramon Ortiz picked up the victory for the Reds. Sidney Ponson the loss. He gave up 7 runs to the Baltimore right-hander. Driven out of play foul. Let's see. Home runs today. I think there were a bunch of them. Rich Aurelia hit 1. Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 11 for Cincinnati. Sammy Sosa hit 2 of them for Baltimore. Washington leads 3-2 now over Seattle. That's in the 7th. Texas 6-2 leading the Marlins. That game in the 9th. And a report out of the Palm Beach Post the other day says some of those Marlins players are starting to grumble a bit about the gruff managerial style of Jack McKeon. Well, 2 years ago he was the toast of the town.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, because they're struggling, it's the manager's fault.
I guarantee his style hasn't changed.
That accountability is a tough thing to accept. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jason Kendall. Braves infield in for him. Oakland's broken the game open, and Kendall loses the bat. And down he goes on strikes. There is your second out of the inning. But the 8th man to hit is Mark Kotsay, and here he comes. Everybody can back up to their normal position for the Oakland center fielder. I thought this guy was going to be a star.
He came out of Cal State Fullerton, a really highly touted player, and he's got great tools. I don't think he ever developed as quite the hitter that everybody expected. And I'm talking about a guy that's currently hitting .283. That's not too shabby. But I think people thought he might be a batting champion someday. Kind of a perennial 300 hitter. Good stop by Pena.
He saved a run. Kotsay's 29 years old.
What's his career batting average?
.287.
Pretty good.
80 home runs. Remember, he played in Florida. Not an easy place to hit the ball out. At old Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, another difficult place.
Right.
And the Oakland ballpark. Not an easy place, although with the seats in center might help the hitters a bit. Yeah. This one needs no help, however, as that one's long gone down the line. Boy, what a lousy 7th inning for Bernero and the Braves. Kotsay hits a 3-run homer.
And that's the way he hits the ball when he's going good, is just line shots. If he gets some elevation at all, they'll go.
Yeah, we told you, Oakland, a team not blessed with a whole lot of power.
Adam was really under that pitch. You could see his arm action when he delivered it. And when he got under that pitch, it just flipped it right up high in the zone.
Oakland came into this series having hit as a team 36 home runs.
Watch the arm. 5 here. Watch the arm action here. Watch him get under the pitch. And when he did, he pushed it up in the zone. See ya.
Down on strikes goes Kielty, but Oakland bats around in the 7th. And they score 6 times. A's 11, Braves 4 as we stretch at Turner Field.
You know what they say, Prince? Big boot, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters foot and sneaker spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
Today you're a super painter with the Wagner Paint Crew. It's built for big jobs with an extra long hose that gives you the reach you need. The innovative Paint Crew. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Is that a Dell XPS?
Yeah.
Can I touch it?
The only thing better than the way a Dell XPS looks is the way it performs. The Dell XPS, intense power and performance fueled by the Intel Pentium M processor, is yours for only $2337. Plus, get up to 20% off other select Dell systems. Dell XPS notebooks use Intel Pentium M processors.
So that's it? I'm hooked up for NFL Sunday Ticket? I never thought that I could see all these games on my TV, but now with this dish, I truly see how beautiful life can be. 'Cause I got the Sunday Ticket. It's mine, Peyton! This is how watching football games should be. It's NFL Sunday Ticket from DirecTV.
Sports Control, presented by MasterCard. We'll get back out to the Braves and the A's in a moment, see if the Braves can fight back in this one. Let's check in on the Phillies, though. Philadelphia, winners of 11 of 12 on their current homestand coming in. Jim Thome said the winning attitude was palpable. Quote, you could almost feel it when you walked in the door. Well, they were at it again today, playing host to the Milwaukee Brewers, and oh, you can feel that. Chase Utley ripping one to right, number 10 on the season for him. Philadelphia gets the win over Milwaukee, the final 6-2. An unbelievable pitching performance for Roy Oswalt today, but check out the help he gets from Adam Everett with the defense. Nice. Lance Berkman not bad at first either, and this is the final out, getting Frank Calinado to ground out to second base. 88 pitches for Oswalt. Houston wins it 3-0. Let's get back out to Turner Field.
All right, Mark, thank you. And time now for the know-how question of the game built by the Home Depot. It comes from Bev Bennett of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Bev wants to know, what is the maximum number of games a player can play in one season and still be considered a rookie the next season? And actually, Bev, it's not based on how many games, but more how many at-bats or innings pitched. No more than 130 at-bats or 50 innings pitched in the major leagues during the previous season, nor more than 45 days on the major league roster during the championship season, where there's just a 25-man roster. So I hope that answers your question. We thank you. And we go to the bottom of the 7th, Chip. Braves need a bunch.
Need 7 just to tie it. It's 11-4, and Keiichi Yabu is on to pitch for the Oakland A's. Yabu, a long-time starter in the Japanese leagues, will face Marcus Giles leading things off. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, a swinging strike. It's 0-1. Marcus 1 for 3 on the day. One and one your count. Well, baseball making great strides in the Pacific Rim. More and more players from Japan, Korea coming over, while Australia was a hotbed with Craig Shipley and Dave Nielsen. Graham Lloyd coming from down under. I'm sure before it's all said and done, Taiwan and People's Republic of China will be great baseball minds for our sport to tap into. Giles lines out, 1 away.
Aren't those, I forget what they call it, the World Games? Aren't those supposed to be played
spring
training?
I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work. Whether teams will allow their players to play in that worldwide is the World Cup of baseball, I think is what they call it.
I think so, and I think it's being endorsed 100% by Major League Baseball. So I don't know if the players really have the teams have a choice.
There'll be some super teams. I guess if you have a United States team, where do you play the games? Do you have an Eastern region and a Western region? Teams train in Arizona, teams train in Florida. How does that work?
Well, there's something else too. I mean, the Latin players have winter leagues in Mexico, Venezuela, Dominican, Puerto Rico. Those players are all in pretty good shape and ready to go before they even get to spring training. There might be a lot of U.S. players who aren't in as good a shape as they should be for those types of games.
And the same thing applies for players from those other countries.
Yeah.
If you play for the Mets and one of your teammates trains with the Cubs in Arizona,
yeah,
how do you how do you put the team together? I think it's a great idea to try to internationalize the game. I know baseball has played some games in Mexico. They had that semi-controversial exhibition game down in Cuba a few years ago. Played games in San Juan, Puerto Rico. But I think that's a great idea to play major league games in Japan, for example, opening day.
I think it is within reason. Just don't overdo it.
Right.
I think that deprives some of the team's fans that opening day thrill.
Popped out of play foul. When I was with the Cubs, we had a 3-game series over there. Great experience.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was great. Other than the travel, I mean, the travel was the biggest problem, but the Cubs train in Arizona, so it wasn't nearly as arduous for us as it was for the Mets, say, who had to come all the way from.
The Yankees went over and played in a series, I know, was it last year? And then they had like 5 or 6 days off.
That's exactly
before the rest of their season began again.
Yeah, that was the other strange part. You'd have 2 games in Japan. you'd fly back home, and then baseball would give you 2 or 3 days to recover from the jet lag, which was a real adjustment. And then you'd play 2 games or a 3-game series against that same team and then continue on with the rest of your schedule.
That's a little squirrely for me.
That was odd. It's tough to set up the pitching rotation, too, because how do you keep guys that don't pitch in that series fresh and on time as well as your bullpen guys? But I think eventually, maybe in our lifetimes, we'll see a true World Series played, where after a season ends, you have an American champion that faces the Dominican champion and maybe the Mexican champion, which I think would be cool.
I don't know about that one.
No?
No.
Don't think it'll happen, or you don't like the idea? Strike 3 to Franco, 2 outs.
I don't think it would happen because there's so many good Dominican players and Puerto Rican players and Mexican players, Venezuelan players that are currently on teams that might still be in that battle for a world championship. It'd be hard then if you had 2 or 3 good Dominican players that on that American champion that couldn't play for their team. I can see an American team playing a Japanese team, for example. Yes, but not the other way around. Not the Latin.
Yeah, not the way it's configured now. Well, Andrew Jones was the hero for a moment. That towering 2-run homer briefly tied the game before the rain delay, and Yabu gets him to pop up, and he'll say, "You take it, Dan Johnson," and he does. Boy, Dan understands Japanese fluently. That's a good thing. That could have been ugly. 11-4 our score as we go to the 8th inning.
He was a star. Now, Pauly Shore is back. He's taking over the Family Comedy Club. He's resurrecting his acting career. And this time, he means business. Minding the Store, a new comedy series coming this July to TBS.
Come on. We got it. Go, Bernie, go.
A wash and wax used to be a workout, but with the new Armor All Gel system, you can wash without a bucket and wax while you dry every time. The Armor All Gel system, the simple way to get a wax with every wash.
Right on target. Now you can target only your gray hair with Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, it replaces gray with subtle tones for a natural look.
You're right on target.
Right on target. Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
Introducing Aqua Velva Ice Balm Aftershave. Alcohol-free, vitamin-infused. Skincare from A to V.
2 down, 1 to go. Let's finish this guy off. Get out of here. Beer. That's beer. This is beer. Beer is falling from the sky. It's raining beer. It's beer. 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 Come outside, everybody. It's raining.
Maybe your light beer should taste more like
beer.
Great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Miller, good call.
11-4, Oakland over Atlanta as we go to the 8th inning of play. Time now for our Odie.
Oh, a timeout.
Time now for our Odor Eaters. Fantastic feat of the game. Might be a fantastic feat just to spit it out. But Eric Chavez with a big day. He's driven in 4 runs. He's had a career-tying 4 hits, including 2 homers that you've just watched. He has 3 home runs in the series. He certainly is deserving of our Odor Eaters fantastic feat of the game. And he's hit 2 or, well, he's actually tied his career mark for home runs in a game. The most he's ever hit in a game is 2, and that's the 12th time in his career he's done it.
So here he comes again, leading off the 8th inning. A couple of changes for Atlanta. Kelly Johnson takes over at left. Ryan Langerhans moves from left to center. And Grabowski is on to pitch. He'll hit 4th in the Braves lineup. It'll be the 18th appearance for Kevin on the year. Chavez, Burns, and Ellis due for the A's. Wilson Bedeman also in at shortstop for the Braves. Boy, he's had a good run of it the last couple of weeks. 11-4, Oakland has the lead. And Chavez takes a strike. Angels came back and beat the Mets today. That's good news. 4-3 is the final score. They get a run in the top of the 9th inning as David Wright committed an error. Braden Looper is charged with the loss. Tough loss for him as the Angels win at 4-3. And a look at a very impressive Wagner scorecard for Eric Chavez of Oakland.
Five full-fledged rookies out there for Atlanta at the moment. Langerhans and Kelly Johnson in the outfield, Bedemet and Marte at short and third, and Brian Pena the catcher.
Two balls and a strike to Chavez. Wicked cut. Texas beat Florida 6-2 this afternoon. Rodriguez the winner, Moeller the loser, and John Wasden picked up the save for Texas.
Braves go to Texas tonight to take on the Rangers beginning tomorrow. Rangers will have a record of 33-28. Depending on what the Angels
did win.
They did win.
Yes.
They'll be 2.5 out. Well, the Rangers still in second place.
2-2 count. I'll tell you what, Buck Showalter's done quite a job as the manager of that Texas team. Oral Hershiser, that pitching staff, and John Hart, the general manager, totally dramatically changed the look of that team when they traded A-Rod to the Yankees. It's interesting to talk to them about what's been going on in the Lone Star State. We've had a lot of great players there, but just haven't been able to get to the playoffs. Have Texas, and Chavez continues his perfect day.
Career high, 5 hits. Any baseball player will tell you, when asked about big days in their career, a 5-hit game is right up there near the top. There'll be some guys, of course, that have hit 3 or 4 homers in a game, but a 5-hit day is as good as it gets.
And no offense to the Braves, but the way Oakland's swinging the bat today, he might have a chance for a 6th at bat.
Yeah.
Everybody's swinging it well today. 13 Oakland hits and 11 runs. And that's a fly ball to left off the bat of Burns. Kelly Johnson gives a little ground. Burns upset with himself. He thought he had to pitch to Handle. He did, but flies out. 1 away. Here's Mark Ellis. He's doubled, walked, and scored this afternoon.
Everybody in the lineup has scored at least 1 run today, except the pitcher spot in the batting order. Kendall scored twice, Chavez twice, Swisher twice.
Oakland will have an off day tomorrow, and they'll welcome the Mets and the Phillies for a 6-game homestand. Then they go to Seattle for 4 games and have the Giants in their last go-round of interleague play June 24th, 25th, and 26th. "13 runs, by the way, for Oakland is their season high. They did that against Boston. 19 hits is their season high, also on May the 18th. Two balls and a strike to Mark Ellis. Jammed him and fouled it straight back. Mark told you about Roy Oswalt's performance today. A complete game, 88-pitch shutout of Toronto. Houston beats them 3-0, the final score there. Jason Lane had 3 hits for the Astros and drove in a run. Phillies complete a 12-1 homestand, knocking off Milwaukee 6-2. Corey Lytle the winner. Ben Sheets the loser for Milwaukee. He's 2-6. And when right, Ben Sheets one of the best starters in the National League, but he's had injury-filled year, inner ear infection.
Yeah, weird one.
Braves fans might remember Nick Asaski. Remember him?
Uh-huh.
Vertigo. Knocked him out. Fly ball center field. Ryan Langerhans should have an easy play. Ellis flies out. Here's Swisher. He singled, walked twice, scored twice. Reds beat Baltimore, as we told you, 10-6. Sammy Sosa, a couple of homers in a losing effort for the Orioles. Reds demote Austin Kearns to AAA. And the A's today, anything but toothless.
Yes, indeed.
And a question you got to ask at this point, Joe, this was a series I think that the Braves on paper looked at, knowing their fate. They really had to have this one.
Yeah, and we talked at the beginning of this series how you didn't just look at it as getting back on the right track and getting well, but you hope to have a sweep.
Right center field, pretty well hit, but that's playable. Ryan drifts back on the warning track and hauls it in. Oakland gets a leadoff hit from Chavez, his 5th in as many tries. Nothing else, however. It's 11-4 A's.
A cool head. And a new copier. $2,500.
Dinosaur. Dedication.
And a coffee maker. $69. A sense of humor. And a mop. $17. Having what it takes to run a business? Priceless. To see what the MasterCard business card can do for your business, visit our website.
Honey, these teeth are so good.
It's one of the worst moments you may ever experience. Allstate wants you to be prepared, because it could happen to you. That's why having quality car insurance is important. You want to be well protected. You want a good price. Drivers who switched to Allstate saved an average of $338 a year. Quality car insurance should be affordable. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
That's a sweet system. Yeah, I got one at home. Me too. It's great for gaming. Oh, you play Battle League online? You don't want none of this. My screen name's Kielty H. Pray you don't see me.
Call today and take delivery of a powerful Gateway 7310S with an Intel Pentium 4 processor with HT technology. Just $799.99. Perfect for multiplayer games, downloading music, or sharing photos with friends. With its DVD burner, you can burn your home movies, make music CDs, or simply back up files. Order today and get double memory and double storage, and we'll upgrade you to a sleek 15-inch flat panel LCD monitor. We'll also throw in a photo quality Epson printer absolutely free. The Gateway 7310S with an Intel Pentium 4 processor with HT technology. It's everything you need, and it's only found in the Gateway box.
Don't forget, fans, this Father's Day, bring your dad to the ballpark and join Major League Baseball and the Prostate Cancer Foundation in raising awareness for prostate cancer research. Log on to MLB.com and look for the blue ribbon for more information on how you can help.
Yeah, we'll be in Cincinnati on Father's Day Sunday as the Braves and Reds wrap up the road trip. Looking forward to that. And looking forward to seeing Andy Marte get another hit. He's 0 for 2 today, and Yabu pops him up out of play foul. Haven't got the attendance on the afternoon. They were pretty hardcore through 5 innings today. Then the rains hit. Then the base hits started raining down as well, and most of them are headed home to try to beat the Tomahawk traffic. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 11-4 Oakland the lead. A's figure to have their first winning road series since the opener in Baltimore. And there is that second hit for Marte. He's one of those kids, Joe, where the ball just sounds differently when it comes off his bat. Very solid contact.
Pretty loud crack, isn't it? Sounds like a firecracker going off. He's hit at every level. No reason to think that he won't hit at this level, too, given enough experience.
So that brings up Brian Jordan. Brian 0 for 2 with a walk. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Braves today.
Brian.
Be an interesting climactic change for the Braves when we head to Texas. Remember doing some games, as I'm sure you do, when we were with the Mariners. Game time 7:30. They have the games late just to let some of the heat try to die down. You look up at that scoreboard at the old Arlington Stadium, which I think was strategically placed so that the opposition knew how hot it was.
Right.
It'd say 104, 105 degrees at 7:30 at night, and that cyclonic wind blowing around. Boy, it was
an arid wind, wasn't it?
As they always say. We go to Arizona, same thing. Yeah, it's dry heat. Stick your head inside the oven. That's a dry heat too.
The old ballpark had those metal dugouts too.
Oh yeah.
It's like being in a toaster.
Line into center field. Brian Jordan has a hit. So 2 straight singles. Yabu, Yabu, do. And
2.
Pena comes up. It's 11-4, folks. Give me a break. In the 6th inning, they go in St. Louis. Yankees 1, Cardinals 1. Well, that's a great series. The Yankees were last in St. Louis in '64 for the World Series. Cardinals, of course, were world champions that year. Here's Pena.
Chance for Joe Torre to go home too.
You know, that's really one of the most amazing things too. Cardinals have such great fans, such knowledgeable fans, and Joe Torre, a beloved player with the Cardinals, went to St. Louis but had to follow Whitey Herzog
as a manager.
And the fans there practically ran him out of town. Just didn't work there for whatever reason. Then of course he goes to New York, and the rest is history. But that was even greeted with a great deal of skepticism. I know that surprises you about New York. But you remember the New York Post newspapers, when they announced the hiring of Joe Torre, the tabloid writers, some of the most clever people in the business, had a picture of Joe Torre in the Yankees garb. Clueless Joe.
Oh man.
His first day on the job, and he's won all those championships now.
Yeah, he's just got the perfect temperament. Great baseball man, of course, but the perfect temperament to manage in that city.
Little roller. Yabu will make the throw to first. Pena advances Marte and Jordan into scoring position. And Langerhans will be the hitter. And say what you will about George Steinbrenner. I've never worked for him. I've met him a couple times. I can only imagine the pressure that he feels in that city with the fan base, with the amount of money that is spent on that team. George Steinbrenner will, to his credit, gives his manager and his coaching staff and his players everything that they think they need to win. But with that comes an incredible responsibility.
Sure.
You'd better do it, or someone else will get a chance.
Baby, come on, Ryan.
Got to be able to deliver the goods, and for George Steinbrenner, finishing second in the American League to the Red Sox last year was not satisfactory.
That's a bad year. Lash toward left. Burns broke in, now drifts back. Marte will tag from third. The throw comes into second, and wisely so. Ryan gets an RBI on a sacrifice fly and brings the Braves a run closer. I think that's the sign of a great owner and great expectations. Same thing you have here in Atlanta.
Yeah, there's nothing short of winning expected here.
A good year is when you win the World Series.
Yeah.
A bad year is any year you don't. Here's Betterman. Check swing. You know what? This young man, 24 years old, was out of options coming out of spring training. And the Braves really had a conundrum on their hands. They weren't sure what Betterman could or couldn't do.
Go with that conundrum thing again.
I mean, he was a guy that would have been snapped up by somebody if they had tried to sneak him through waivers and get him through the minor leagues.
Yeah, but it's 11-5, and you're breaking out the dictionary thing on me.
Sorry. Promise I won't do it again at any other game unless it's 11-5. Would you agree this guy's played himself back into
he's
a whole lot of
been
plans?
Tremendous.
Little ground ball to first. Yabu a little late to the bag, but he makes the play.
And he made himself ready every time he was called upon.
A run on a couple of hits. Ninth inning comes your way next.
From executive producer Steven Spielberg and DreamWorks Television, a 6-week television event from the first wagon west to a clash of two nations. From the California Gold Rush to a railroad that united a country. Into the West. 3 chances to watch every weekend. See it tonight at 8, only on TNT.
Discover innovations that are pretty handy and just plain cool. You can, only at the Home Depot. With everything from a ladder that starts out really short and ends up really tall, to Glidden ceiling paint that goes on pink and dries white so you never skip a spot. At the Home Depot, we're driving down costs every day on innovations you'll wonder how you ever did without.
The Home Depot, you can do it, we can help.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
If you can't remember the last time you replaced the air filter in your car, then you need to get in the zone. AutoZone. You see, if you have a dirty air filter under your hood, then you're losing horsepower and killing your gas mileage. So do something about it today. Get to AutoZone right now and put a new air filter in your car. Get the horsepower back, get better gas mileage, and start saving money today.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Ooh, that is nice. That is nice. Ooh, that is nice.
So you better take Daddy over to Best Buy.
Mark 5 back at TBS Sports Control, presented by MasterCard. Seattle and Washington. Richie Sexton, the M's last chance. Christian Guzman, sweet play up the middle. Washington gets their 10th straight, tying a franchise record. Let's get it back out to the ballpark.
Well, the Nationals are smoking hot. They said, as Joe mentioned earlier, the importance of that homestand for them. They go 10-1, 9-2, something like that. Won, what, 10 in a row? So, so they had to go
11-1, didn't they?
11-1. Phillies went 12-1 on their homestand. Dan Kolb is on for the Braves now in the 9th. Wow. 11-1 went Washington, 12-1 went the Phillies. And 11-5 is the score here today. Let's take a look at Scutaro's Crestor scorecard. An RBI single in that 6-run, 5-hit 7th that broke the game open for the Athletics. Dan Kolb did not pitch yesterday. John Smoltz went the distance, his first complete game in almost 6 years. And Friday night in a 6-4 Oakland win, Dan Kolb looked terrific. A 1-2-3 inning, his first 1-2-3 inning since the middle of May.
And there were 3 ground ball outs, and that was big for him too.
So today's performance, hopefully something upon which Dan can build. But alas, it's a leadoff walk. And Scutaro is on in the 9th inning. Here's Johnson, the young first baseman for Oakland. Johnson, a 7th-round pick in the 2001 draft. Boy, they are going with the kids, aren't they?
I think he's out of the University of Nebraska, too. He was all Big 12, 3 straight years. Had a terrific collegiate career there. Nebraska, hot team in the NCAA tournament, too.
And Pena out for a chat with Kolb. He falls behind Johnson. 1 ball, no strikes. Cubs and Red Sox play tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. Pop shallow left center field. Johnson and Langerhans. It'll be the center fielder Langerhans. He's the defensive captain out there. And he'll make the play for the first out. How about the Cubs? They've turned it around. They've won 15 of their last 20. doing it without Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor. Wood's about to begin some minor league rehab starts for the Cubs. Pryor still out with that fractured elbow, although he is able to play catch for Chicago.
Cardinals lose today, and the Cubs win the late game against Boston. They would only be 4.5 out. That's cutting into that Cardinal lead quite a bit.
St. Louis still without Scott Rowland. They're itching to get him back. Here's a former Cub, former Brave, Juan Cruz.
Looks like he'll work the ninth.
Fisted toward Giles at second. He'll bobble and flip to Benham at 1. And the peg to first in time. That's 11 double plays hit into by Jason Kendall. And it retires the side in the ninth. Last chance for the Braves. Need a big rally. It's 11-5 Oakland.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent urges, our pipes just don't work as well as they should. Sometimes you worry you could spring an embarrassing leak. So why deal with it on your own when there's something more you can do? Treat it once daily with Vesicare. New Vesicare can reduce urges and may even help relieve bladder leakage. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. So why wait? Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you. Fewer urges and leaks. With new Vesicare, it's not just a pipe dream.
Hey. Hey. Whew. Yeah. You look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
Yeah, it's because I have Aflac.
What do you mean?
Well, when I'm hurt and miss work, Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills my health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm.
Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck. Aflac. Ask about it at work.
You know what they say, Prince? Big boot, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Sorbitex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters Foot and Sneaker Spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
Today, you're a super painter with the amazing Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Fast and neat. It lets you paint up to 12 inches wide in one pass. The Power Painter. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Juan Cruz on to finish the game up for the A's. He's not exactly the closer, but don't miss TNT's new original series, The Closer, starting this Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central on our sister station TNT.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I like Kira Sedgwick. I think she's terrific. And Into the West, that's another one I can't wait to see. Let's see if the Braves can chop away here in the ninth inning. Kelly Johnson's going to start things off. Juan Cruz, a former Brave, pitching for the Oakland team. Cruz, who began his major league career with the Cubs a few years back, came up in September and was dazzling as a starting pitcher. And I mean dazzling. Just a 3-pitch pitcher. As that one lined hard to short, Kelly Johnson just can't find a hole. Boy, he's been hitting rockets everywhere and has only one hit to show. 1 out. But Cruz went 3-1, 4-1, something like that down the stretch for the Cubs. Came back the next spring training and really, I think, lost all concept of how to be a starting pitcher. Everything was hard. He had an excellent changeup for a young man. And he and Jason Beret, I think, combined for 21 losses for the Cubs in the first half of the season before he was sent to the bullpen. The fastball, slider, changeup guy who I think really deceives hitters with his slight build.
70 strikeouts in 72 innings for Atlanta last year and a 2.75 ERA in 50 games. He pitched pretty well. There were stretches where he didn't. but the middle of the summer he was outstanding.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Marcus. He's 1 for 4 and has scored a run today. An 11-5 Oakland lead. We'll go to Texas and hope for better tidings against the Rangers.
.96 on that fastball.
Never a doubt about that.
No.
That went even faster at 98.
Goodness.
You saw Cruz a lot more than I did last year. Can he close?
I think he could. I'm not sure that he's at that point yet, but I think he could. I think a closer only needs 2 pitches, fast ball that he can throw for strikes and locate, and just a little something off speed. Even a slider that has a little variation in the velocity would be enough.
Like a change-up slider, for lack of a better way of describing
it.
it.
Yeah, there you go.
The one advantage for that job is, as you said, you only have to have a couple of pitches ready to go, and you can go with the throttle wide open for 1 inning. And he's got Franco in a quick 2-strike problem here in the last of the 9th inning.
He and Julio were very close on this ball club last year. You always saw them together. But of the 3 players traded for Tim Hudson, he's the only one on the roster. With Dan Meyer and Charles Thomas back in AAA.
Well, their time will come again. And I know for a fact that's a trade that Oakland had to make for financial reasons, and they may have to move B.Zito before it's all said and done. And one could expect a king's ransom for a left-hander with the talents of Zito, especially when you look at what he's done lifetime after the All-Star break. He's 43 and 18 after the break.
Much better second-half pitcher.
And that's going to do it. Boy, Cruz was nasty. 3 up, 3 down in the 9th inning. And a very disappointing home stand for the Braves, even more so in this series with Oakland. The A's have won their first road series since the opening 3 played against the Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards. Final score from Atlanta, Oakland, a big win, 11-5 your final. We'll talk about it in a moment.
From the fastest and strongest to the most capable and most powerful Dodge Ram trucks. Matched by none, envied by all.
Come on, man, blow it!
Now get some of our best deals and low payments on the truck you really want. Ram, plus $1,000 trade-in bonus cash allowance.
All I want is a room somewhere, a great escape from the northern air. Weekend ideas at my fingertips, thousands of ways to take awesome trips. All I want is, all I want is, all I want is, it's all complimentary. Weekends will set you free. Wouldn't it be lovely?
This is Adam, who had a Delta Simple Fares ticket with no Saturday night stay, so he could fly home for Friday night. Which meant Alicia had an open seat for Susan on a Saturday flight, so she could be on her favorite game show. It starts with something good, like Simple Fares with no Saturday night stay. From there, one good thing leads to another. Delta, good goes around. For our lowest fares, visit delta.com.
You know what they say, Prince. Big boot, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Sorbitex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters foot and sneaker spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
A rainforest, the ultimate torture test for your deck. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced, the ultimate protection. It seals out 99% of the water right from the start. For a longer-lasting deck, get the most powerful protection against water damage guaranteed. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced.
Braves TDS Baseball, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Hampton Hotels. For reservations, visit us online at hamptoninn.com or call 1-800-HAMPTON. By the UPS Store. We offer the personal service your small business needs. And by Delta, where good goes around. Find out more at delta.com.
Tonight on TBS.
Hey, what you doing hanging from the ceiling like that? Don't walk. You ain't gonna be telling me what you doing now. I'm Kelly Robinson, baby. You're 7 and old. Don't talk to me like that.
I Spy. Tonight at 8 on TBS.
Well, the Braves lose their 5th straight series at the hands of the Oakland A's today. Final score 11-5. 13 hits for Oakland. They committed an error, left 7. 7 hits for the Braves, including another home run by Andrew Jones as he continues to try to do his best to help the Braves offense. Atlanta left 7 men on base. B.Zito, the recipient of the win after the A's pushed a run across in the 6th inning after he'd been pinch hit for. But he gets the win. Blaine Boyer in his major league debut suffers the loss. 27,819 here today, and the game took 2 hours and 59 minutes. That does not include the 29-minute rain delay in the 5th inning.
And the A's rain on the Braves parade in a big way today. We'll hope for better times tomorrow as we begin a 7-game road trip starting at the ballpark in Arlington. That's where our next Braves telecast will take place as we take on the Texas Rangers. Come back on TBS next Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll come to you from Cincinnati as we wrap